This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons, and of course Michael, sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. You still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Okay. Welcome back to the special edition, really, of the Patriots Dynasty podcast, a playoff edition. We have made it to the playoffs, boys. Congratulations. How are you feeling about that?
Just like the rest of the Patriots nation in 2001, I didn't think we'd make it this far.
It's just another game. Business as usual.
I don't believe you. I appreciate the tone.
It's only the greatest game of the Dynasty. I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Coming out hot, immediate.
Coming out firing.
Let's start with that then. I want your take on this. Defend your hot take.
Dude, the scene, I mean, if you love football, you gotta love this game. You know what I'm saying? Just the snow coming down in droves.
Yeah.
Coming down to the last play, controversy, Brady putting his stamp on the league. It's just everything. Like, there's so many players that had, like, their coming out party today, too. Like, Brewski, Seymour, Ty Law. Like, it was just an unbelievable game.
It really was. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I think it's definitely up there. I don't know if it's the best game ever.
Yeah.
But top 5 at the very least.
I'm with Andy, yeah.
In memorable games, I think maybe.
The best atmosphere.
Yeah,
last game at Foxborough. Like, there's so many
things say that.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's a good point.
I would go so far as to say best non-Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I can only think of one other game, best non-Super Bowl game, that probably give this a run for its money, and that was the one against the Ravens.
Yeah, I'll say that too.
That was a good game.
But this is better than that because, like, to all the things Greg noted, right? Brady's coming out party in the snow. Last game of Foxborough sort of had a ton of character.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, just the imagery of every time guys would butt heads, the puff of snow would come off the top of their helmets, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And the Raiders wearing black, or like, you know, the black trim on it, made it even better because the snow versus the black looked so sick.
It was pretty good.
Anytime anybody gets tackled, they wake up and they get up and they got a face full of snow.
Yeah. Pretty much every football. Antoine Smith run ended with him just like a complete face mask full of snow.
It's the most football game ever.
It's up there.
It's definitely up there. I'll give you that. All right. I think you've converted me. Congratulations.
To the best ever.
That was easy. The best ever.
Best ever so far on this podcast, for sure.
That's for sure.
So let's talk about this game. This, like we said, last ever game at Foxborough Stadium. It was actually supposed to be a few weeks ago at their last home game, but it was supposed to be demolished by now already.
Yep.
But it was still standing because they had one more game to play in it, and that was this one. So hell of a way to end. Going up against the Raiders, who finished first in the AFC West, and I remember them being good. I didn't remember how good they actually were. Just in terms of numbers, Rich Gannon was a Pro Bowler. He had 27 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on this season, which was the best interception percentage in the league.
Yeah,
he was 4th in the league in touchdown passes, 5th in passing yards. The wide receivers were Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, who both had over 1,000 yards, and both had 9 receiving touchdowns. Like, this was a fucking stacked offense.
I think they were getting old, though, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think this was like the end of Jerry Rice's career, obviously. I think it was either this year or the year after was when he went to Seattle for his last year.
Yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl the next year, though.
They did, yeah.
Right.
Was he on that team? I think he was, yeah. That makes sense.
Right, because Gruden would leave Oakland after this year, right, to go to Tampa, and then they would play each other in the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
Right.
I actually have a really hardcore Raiders fan, so we interviewed him about this.
Oh, that's right. We did. Yeah, let's go to that real quick.
Oh boy! All right, we got my friend Navi joining us. Navi is the biggest Oakland Raiders fan that I know. Actually,
Las Vegas.
the only Oakland Raiders fan that I know.
Las Vegas. That's correct.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Jeez, it's off to a bad start. So I've known Navi for, I don't know, close to 10 years or so.
God damn.
He's always been a
Our
diehard
condolences, Navi.
Raiders guy.
Hey, man, your brother's a good guy. 4th of July.
That's not
See, everybody keeps saying that, but I don't know if they know the real Steve Brown.
Hey,
I'm saying that's not true.
The 3rd of July is a great tradition. You know,
That's true. I throw a great 4th of July party, and
heard
Navi's made me
stories.
take
I've
too
seen
many
pictures.
blue shots. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
So this is our payback, making him relive the Patriots Raiders playoff.
Well, he
game.
said before we started this, he said he actually went back and rewatched this game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I actually just rewatched it. I just finished up like an hour ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting game.
Yes.
Just, yeah,
I mean, the ending.
I think it would be like us going back and watching the 2007 Super Bowl. It's an exciting game, but it doesn't end the way I want it to. So I don't know if I'll ever watch it again.
No, yeah.
I mean, it felt just dominance by the Raiders until the 4th quarter, and you know, second half actually Brady was just on fire, just dink and dunk passes, and you know, the snow definitely came in a factor where everybody's slipping. I mean, even David Patton was slipping, but he was still catching the ball.
Yeah, David
There's
Patton
just
seemed to catch more balls after he had fallen down than beforehand. I felt like in this game.
Yeah, I did the exact
Ridiculous.
same. Like, you know, like every time he caught a ball, that was like a first down. Like it was like a 10-yard pass. He would fall down, get back, catch it.
Yeah, he's like on his.
Do you remember watching this game the first time, Navi?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Yeah, hang on. Let's rewind a little bit. So, are you from the Oakland area originally?
No, I'm born and raised in Northern Virginia. A little backstory how I became a Raider fan is really just hip hop. Actually, was like the one way that, you know, the Raider brand was always shown. And I was like always a young kid that loved hip hop. You know, and then just hearing about the Raiders defense back in the days, how like dirty, how hardcore they were. Bo Jackson, you know, was everywhere. You playing, you know, the Bo Jackson Techno Bowl game. But really how I truly became a Raider fan was watching the Michigan-Ohio State game and watching Charles Woodson just take that punt return back for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is that the one where we did the Heisman pose at the end?
Yeah, it was kind of like my first, like, you know, college football game that I actually, like, vividly remember. And I'm like, man, that fucking just badass. And little, you know, next you know, he's drafted by the Raiders. Boom. Got all the color jerseys, you know, for the Charles Woodson. I got the white, got the black, got the silver. You know, it was just, from then on out, it was just nation.
So you give your version of Ty Law for Greg. Got it.
Exactly like that with Ty Law. Yeah, every single variation of jersey, like Pro Bowl Ty Law jerseys, which apparently they make.
You know, Pro Bowl white, Pro Bowl red.
Throwback red, which never actually wore, but he has it.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, just like getting older and like, you know, just kind of like looking back at the Raiders. You know, I'm looking at Jack Tatum, Lester Hayes, all of them just whooping people's asses, playing dirty. You know, Ted Hendricks, the linebackers can go on and on. You know, the traditions like no other. Like the Raiders are just, you know, you can't put a city name in front of them. They're just the Raiders.
So how do you feel about that moving? Do you even
I love the move.
care?
You know, you go from a 13. I love it because you go from a 13.3 sales, income tax or whatever, you know, state tax to a 0. You know,
that's true.
All these players are gonna look at it like, hey, I get more money now. In my pocket.
I still think they should move Gillette to New Hampshire for that exact same reason. And not just because it'd be closer for me.
Hey man, Vegas, that stadium looks like what was that, Star Wars?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Like the Death Star, yeah.
Yeah, the Death Star now.
Yeah.
It just seems like the perfect fit though. The Raiders, like you said, that whole brand of like the black hole plus Vegas. It seems like that's a way more of a fit than like the Chargers in LA.
The Chargers in LA, they should be the nomad team. They shouldn't even have a home game.
I know.
They be playing on the road all, they don't even have
Moving to London.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Vegas stadium, I mean, who's going to say no to a free $2 billion brand new stadium?
Right, exactly.
But yeah, from there, there's nothing but the Raiders, and I've gone through the black hole, the dark days of being a Raiders fan. So I don't think
there were a few of them in there. This wasn't that time though. This was a good time to be a Raiders fan with the John.
Yeah, this was a good time. This was that tuck rule was the change of the guard of the Raiders. So that team right there that played the Patriots and that tuck rule, that and the following season was a very veteran team. Like you had barely any young players on that team. I mean, I think Charlie Gardner might have been one of the youngest players on the team. Charles Woodson might have been one of the youngest players on the team.
Yeah, they mentioned it in the broadcast too.
Yeah, they did mention it. And you look back at it, you're looking at this Eric Allen's up there. I mean, they did have a first-round pick, Eric Gibson from Florida State, but I mean, he was, they're sprinkling in young guys, but
yeah. But I mean, the Patriots were kind of a similar story too, because Belichick had literally, they've been talking about it all season, how they had gone in and brought in like 18 or 20 veteran free agents, and all of them were like 10 plus year vets, just to get that sort of like setting the tone of the what the team's going to be.
I mean, you could have done that back in the day, but now I feel like it's just a young man's game. These guys are just harder, faster, and just better, coming out. You don't have 240-pound linebackers that are playing 3 downs.
Nope. They don't have
thumpers, I should say.
Exactly, yeah. Those middle linebackers were there just to stop the run, sort of thing.
Yeah.
The Brian Coxes of the world.
Right, or even the Teddy Bruschi's or something.
I forgot about Roman Pfeiffer was on your team.
Yeah.
Then, looking at who's that Pleasant guy or something else on the defensive line. I remember
Pleasant. Yep.
Yeah, I just remember playing. Man, I'm like, holy shit, man! This is like a memory, like a trip back memory lane.
I know.
Because
I'd honestly forgot Jerry Rice was even in this game.
Oh man, I mean, they had 2,000.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, they both him and Tim Brown both had 1,000 yards each.
Weren't they only like 30 yards apart in the whole season too? They're both over like 1,100 yards.
Yeah.
9 touchdowns.
And then Charlie.
I didn't know Jerry Rice was that good. Outside of San Fran.
Dude, I mean, let's just forget about his Seattle Seahawks days, but he was a beast for the Raiders. I mean, you look at it now, it's like Gruden wanted Antonio Brown to be his Jerry Rice, but let's not revisit that last summer debacle. But
I think we can all agree on that.
We feel
That was a headache, man. That was the worst hangover I ever had. But no, I mean, you had those 2 receivers. You had Charlie Gardner, who had 75 catches on the year. James Jett barely sprinkled in there. Then you have John Ritchie, and our tight end was Roland Williams before Doug Jolly and all these other guys came around. But I mean, John Ritchie was catching balls out the backfield, and that's a big boy.
Yeah, just the size of the players in these old games is shocking.
Yeah, I mean, a linebacker now is a lineman.
Yeah, every single one of these guys looks like they could play fullback with no problem in today's NFL.
Definitely. But yeah, I mean, that team right there, man, like PTSD, man. That tuck rule is just a nightmare. I forgot about it until you said it the other day, and I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I say every time.
I mean, that team was like a off and on again team that year because, I mean, they closed the season out with 3 losses.
They did, yeah. So actually, I wanted to ask you about this because you'll probably know better than we will. Because the last loss, which gave Patriots the 2 seed, was to the New York Jets, and I feel like I remember something because then they had to play the Jets like 6 days later in the wild card.
Yep.
And I feel like I remember a story about how the Raiders played the first game between them kind of pretty vanilla because they didn't want to give anything away. The Jets had to show what they had to be because they needed to win to get in the playoffs, and the Raiders didn't. And
I'm trying to remember that little thing there, but I mean, it's happened quite a few times in the early 2000s where teams would actually do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past Gruden, saying, hey, let's just dog this one out. Or,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think he would actually say it, but, he kept it very vanilla. I mean, they whooped their Jets' ass the next week.
They did, yeah. And I actually watched the highlights for that. That was a really good game. It was 38-24 or something, and got sealed on an 80-yard touchdown run by Charlie Garner.
Charlie Garner, local Virginia kid, man.
Oh, no kidding.
I had forgotten who Charlie Gardner was, to be honest. I was like, ooh.
He was a beast for us.
Yeah,
you had.
Who's your favorite player on that team?
My favorite player on that team was Charles Woodson, hands down.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, that makes
I mean,
sense.
if you
What
want to
about
go
all time?
away all time,
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, I really love Jack Tatum's game. I feel kind of an asshole for saying, him, the guy was insane and like just ruthless.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, apparently he's a
other
bit of
than-
a scumbag like after football, but I mean,
yeah.
playing for the Raiders was he a linebacker in those days?
Jack Tatum was the inbox safety for them, the strong safety.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the obvious answer would be Charles Woodson, my all-time Raider, because that personally made me. But I would have to go. It's a toss-up between Howie Long and you can't say Bo Jackson. He wasn't there that long. I'd say him and Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen running all over the Redskins Bowl highlights that I watched. I mean, living here, I just can't stop bringing it up to all these guys around here. But no, Howie Long is my favorite Raider. One, because he's a local. He lives around here, and I actually met the guy once. Funny story. I literally opened the door to a friend's girlfriend's house, and him and his younger son were at the front door, and I was like hungover. I was like, wait, who the fuck? And I had to close the door, open it. I was like, oh, that's how it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was surreal. I was like, oh, this is the worst way to meet somebody.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and then bringing it back to the movie Broken Arrow. I don't know if you ever watched that. Who was that?
A long time ago.
Yeah. Remember that movie Broken Arrow?
Yeah.
Christian Slater?
I watched it.
Yeah, Howie Long was in it. That guy was just a rock.
Yeah. Jesus.
Throwback,
That's a throwback right there. No kidding. God damn.
So there's too many Raiders to say, but my favorite all-time Raider, if I can say Charles Woodson, would be Howie Long.
All right. I think that's a
That
good
guy
one.
How did you feel about that the Gruden trade when it went down?
That was the
Like, how-
nail in the coffin for us. Al Davis trading him for a first-round pick who ended up being Philip Buchanan from the U, my favorite college team, but still, it wasn't worth it. I mean, fast forward to next season, Bill Callahan's our coach, and coming up, we got to play Gruden in the Super Bowl, and this guy knows literally every single play. And from the stories that, we heard is Callahan literally sabotaged the Super Bowl and played right into Gruden's hands. And you could hear, in highlights on NFL Films, James or John Lynch is literally saying that's the play. They're literally calling out the plays. It's going here, it's going there. I'm just sitting here like, all right, this is the worst move you ever could have done. We could have kept Gruden, gone to the Super Bowl, won a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Al Davis.
Did Gruden force his way out? I don't remember how that all came about.
No, he didn't force his way out at all. I think it was something to do with ego a little bit, but I mean, we won't know the true story. Gruden obviously came back, and Mark Davis loves Gruden, and Al Davis always did love Gruden, but who knows?
Yeah, there was some dark times between the two times he was there.
Yeah, really, it's probably something that happened behind closed doors, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's probably similar to the Brady Belichick thing too. You'll probably never know.
You'll never know exactly
what actually happened.
Al Davis, he's dead, but yeah, we'll definitely never know because Gruden won't ever say. The next person, Amy Trask, won't ever say who was Al Davis' right-hand woman.
Mm-hmm.
But, that was the end of the Raiders because right then and there, that was that bad omen. After that Super Bowl defeat, which I sat at my friend's house in his basement, took off my jersey, and didn't say a word the rest of the game. We're getting our ass kicked. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And then here comes.
I felt that for a first half in a Super Bowl before.
Yeah. It's painful, man. It's shitty. I'd rather, have anything else happen. I don't know what I can describe, but
yeah, no,
it's a worst feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than
I
that,
feel like we're kind of going through that with the departure of Brady too, just with everything the way it's happened. Just it doesn't.
Yeah,
feel...
I don't know. I mean, you guys are spoiled. You got
absolutely.
Alex Cora being fired, and then your best player gets traded, and then you got Brady leaving.
Yep.
The Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics and the Bruins, I think, were both in first place when both seasons got suspended, so we'll never know what happened to them either. So, tough time in Boston sports right now. All within like a month of each other.
To the next team. I mean, everyone knows. I go, what? It's not football season anymore. It's basketball season. But
those kids that were born in 2000 will never say shit about anybody else because they've seen so many championships come through that city. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's bananas. I don't understand. I'm a little worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be, trust the process, pretty much, right? You never know.
Yeah,
There's always
we trust. I mean, it's worked so far.
I've always been interested in what Raiders fans think of their owner. Like, obviously, we love RKK. But
he's a good guy, but he needs to obviously sell some assets and get somebody with fatter pockets. Because him waiting for Vegas and all this Vegas money, it's going to take time. And I don't know what the hell he's thinking. He's definitely brought the franchise down. He's trying to do good. But, cash flow is definitely an issue. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rumors. But, on the way the contracts are being made, they're a little funny. They're money up front because there won't be money later. I don't know. But he's a good guy, good intentions, shitty owner. When it comes to, pockets-wise, he's probably one of the poorest owners. Sucks because people want their money now, not later.
Yeah, I think that's
he's got that awesome haircut, though. That definitely makes up for it.
Oh, my God.
That's a badass haircut.
I have been on Bring Back the Bowl Cut campaign for a long time now. And Greg knows, too.
Swag. You see him going up to those UFC games and those hockey games, wearing all white suit.
Yeah, everything. The tracksuits.
Yeah, so he has swag, man. He has the most swag out of all the NFL owners.
It's almost like it's negative swag, but it's kind of like looped back around.
Exactly.
It's so bad it's good.
Exactly. It's so bad it's good. I agree. I'm just glad we're out of that shithole stadium that smells like shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was us in 2001. Getting out of a shithole.
How many games have you been at the old Raider Stadium?
I didn't go to many. I've only been there twice. I've gone all around. My favorite stadium to visit and watch a game was Nashville. So anytime the Raiders play there, I would always try and get there.
Yeah, me and Greg went to that one.
Yeah,
it wasn't
great. It was fun to
shit kicked out of us, so I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Host.
I enjoyed it. We won recently down there. Was on TV. Got a text message from my mom. Put your fucking jersey back on. Drunk ass.
Were you shirtless again?
Yep. Because we were in the end zone. We were right behind the goalpost, second row. It was hot as balls that day. We were wearing black jerseys. Latavius Murray scored. He threw the football, started celebrating. We took off our jersey. I took off my jersey. I was hammered. And waving it around, all happy and shit. And next thing I get that text message, put your fucking jersey back on. I'm like, all right. On TV.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But no, I definitely, I loved going there to the Raider Stadium, for the games. But, man, it smelled like shit and weed. Two combos.
Right. That's what it looks like. It smells like on TV.
They're smoking in the stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
They're everybody's high as balls there. They just don't give a fuck there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it works perfectly for Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No rules, baby.
It'll be weird to see how Vegas turns out because I feel like the first few years it'll be like a show for all these away fans to come to.
Definitely.
they got to spend like $8,000 for like a shitty seat.
That's crazy.
It's going to be insane for the prices in Vegas. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be going there with Greer to see a Bills game, so let's see how much money we fork over for tickets.
Oh, tons. But think about the in-game betting you can do from your seat.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you can make that money back.
Yep, that is true. That is very true. I'm not a big guy to go to games and watch them because I love watching all football games and I like gambling. So it's like, hopefully I go to a game that's like a prime game where it's the only game there.
I don't know if that's going to be against the Bills, but just throw that out there.
You never know. Hey, man, the Bills.
Their track record has not been good. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, we listened to Greer too much, did.
That is true. That is true.
So, a couple more questions, real quick.
Sounds good.
As a Raiders fan, how do you see the Patriots? Like, what do you think of the Patriots?
At first, I hated them, and then
Fair.
I hated Brady a lot. But then, like, social media Brady coming out, and just the way he, like, just put out these videos, like his TB12 stuff, is, I don't know. I love Tom Brady, the person, just because, like, how, like, cool and, like, you know, like, calm nature he is. And then there's Brady, the Patriot. I mean, you got to give him respect. Being young, you hate, you know, teams. Growing older, I appreciate. But, yeah, I still fucking hate them for that tuck rule.
So, I don't know if you'll actually have an answer to this one, but do you have a favorite Patriots-Raiders game?
No, because we haven't won against guys in a long time.
I guess that's kind of true. The Jack Tatum game, I guess.
I don't even know when's the last time we beat you guys.
Couldn't tell you. I think it's been a while.
Yeah, the last time we got close was when Gronk was playing, and I think we barely lost that game. I think it was it was a very close game if I remember. It was like, I don't know, 10-13 or something like that. But that's probably the closest we got. You know, if I'm trying to think, who was even on the Raider team that year.
We have a website for this.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Let's see. The last time the Raiders beat the Patriots was 2002, week 11.
No, that was the following season, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been, yeah. The revenge game, I suppose.
Yeah, you can call it that.
20-27.
27-20, yeah. And then that was kind of it. And then before that was 19. Well, actually, that's not true. Before that, the last time Oakland was 81 when they were still in Oakland, but I'm sure the LA Raiders beat them at some point too.
Yeah. Oh, they did. They definitely did. I remember seeing a highlight.
Yeah, that was
the Raiders. Yeah, we haven't beat you guys in forever. I can't tell you what my favorite Raider game is. I don't remember the 2002 game, to be honest. It's a blur to me. I gotta go back.
I've always wondered what people thought of them drafting Jamarcus Russell. Like when you drafted him, were you hyped?
Fuck no.
No, you just knew right away.
I believed in Lane Kiffin. If he got Calvin Johnson, he would have found a way to do something else.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the draft. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have him. Was that the Aaron? No, the Aaron Rodgers year was when we drafted Robert Gallery.
Oh.
The Undertaker, the guy from Iowa, over, Aaron Rodgers. We could have used a quarterback.
Oops.
Imagine Aaron Rodgers and Calvin Johnson on the same team in a Raider uniform.
Oh yeah. That would have been borderline unstoppable.
Pretty much. And then you got Jerry Porter over there, who's our young buck receiver. That would have been a nice little few years there.
That would have been all right, wouldn't it? Yeah. Instead, you had
that's typical Raiders living in the wood. What if they called it a fumble? What if we drafted Calvin Johnson?
Steve Brown, I'm pretty sure that's every single franchise fans other than the Patriots, if we're being honest.
That's true.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
say
you
that.
guys should do what we did and just draft your franchise quarterback with the 199th pick. Duh.
I don't even know when's the next time we're going to draft a quarterback. I mean, I think our quarterback of the future is already on the team in Marcus Mariota, but that's just me.
Ooh, that's a
really?
hot.
That's a hot take.
Man.
Yeah.
We don't release these immediately, so like, I don't know. That might be stale by the time this comes out.
Yeah, this might come out 8 weeks from now, so in 2 months that might actually be a
nice
little
little
hot
hot take.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr did great in the system, but the guy's not mobile enough. He's not confident enough to use his legs and to make smarter plays. Like the guy, for fuck's sakes, he ran out of bounds on 4th and goal or something like that. Like I remember, like he was close to Enzo. Just give somebody the time to make a play. Like give somebody a chance. Marcus Mariota would have never done that stupid ass play and get booed out of your fucking stadium in the last game of the season. I just feel like he's a fit for the offense. That's just me, but you know, he's Mayock's #1 quarterback. There's a reason why his contract's like packed with incentives.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, 2 years, he can make up to $47 million. That's nuts. Even though he's a base
Holy
7.5.
shit.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's a lot
like
of money.
back and you'd be like, what the fuck? Like, there's a small leash for Derek Carr this year. I feel like.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
It's I mean, with that contract the way it is, it just feels weird. I mean, yeah, they'll probably be happy with Carr for a few weeks, but like when they start losing and they like, you know, are losing because the pass game's not working or he's just fucking up, Mariota's gonna be right there.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the actual first backup quarterback we've had that can actually challenge him to take his job.
Yeah, the names of backup quarterbacks in Oakland has not been.
No, I think our best quarterback has been Matt McGloin.
Oh my goodness. Best is a. I think you're using that word loosely, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd even throw Bruce Gradkowski in because he beat Pittsburgh with Louis Murphy.
Yeah.
I remember that. Jason Campbell was decent until he got hurt, but you know,
the old Redskins guy, right?
Yeah, I mean he was decent until he got hurt, and then here comes Hugh Jackson tossing a first-round pick for Carson fucking Palmer. But
Palmer was all right at the time.
He was all right, man, but he didn't want to play for the Raiders. He went from the Bengals to the Raiders. Come on.
What were your thoughts on the Randy Moss era?
Oh, the Randy Moss era was just garbage. Andrew Walters trying to throw Randy Moss the ball, and Randy Moss did not want to be there. The guy was half speed. He just didn't give a fuck. He was getting paid.
It's true.
Were you like pissed when he came to the Patriots and was awesome, or were you like, yeah, of course that happened?
Of course that was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to fucking happen. I just wish we would have got something better than a 4th-round pick.
That's true. Yeah, they actually gave up more for Wes Welker that year. They gave up like a second and something else.
Shit, man. They never fucking trade with the Patriots. I mean, we gave up a first for fucking Richard Seymour.
That's true.
The best thing Richard Seymour ever did was punch Big Ben in the face and get ejected from the game.
That's right.
You know?
To be fair, that's got to be like a top 10 moment.
Yeah,
like that's the Raiders you're talking about. That's that Raiders defense and that attitude you're talking about.
I think that was actually the game that Bruce Gradkowski threw Louis Murphy the game-winning touchdown too.
Oh, you might be right.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, that game was great. It was a complete shit show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally worth a first-round pick, though, right?
Yeah, I Big Ben's fucking douchebag, but
definitely we can all agree on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take him over. Who's the old guy?
Cordell Stewart?
No, man, the guy on Fox.
Oh, Terry Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw. I'll take Big Ben over Terry Bradshaw as the greatest Steeler quarterback.
Ooh, that's another hot take. You're just full of them.
That is, fire.
Terry Bradshaw his stats were shit. I mean, you know, there was just more of like he was like the Trent Dilfer of the team.
I was going to say, he was kind of the Trent Dilfer of the that what do they call them, steel curtain defenses.
Yep. What other questions you got?
That was all the ones I had. Steve, you got any questions?
No, I definitely wanted to know how you felt about Randy Moss. So I'm glad I got that out there.
Yeah. What's funny actually is about the Randy Moss thing is, I bought a Randy Moss jersey.
Oh no.
And then I believe we traded him 1 year later. No. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Rewind. So I had a Napoleon Harris jersey. He was a linebacker.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And he was good, right?
Yeah.
And, I was super excited. I was like, dang, I got a jersey. This linebacker's going to be here for a while. He's a beast, getting 150-something tackles. Next offseason, he gets traded to Minnesota for Randy Moss. I'm like, oh, shit. What am I doing with this jersey? It's going to go, right in the closet, never used again. Spent like, I don't know, $50, $60 at the time for those jerseys.
Yeah.
Did I get a Randy Moss? That didn't last long. So, I just had jerseys.
I will say, and I remember this very clearly, Greg, in his infinite jersey collection, had a Raiders Jerry Rice, if I remember correctly.
Did he? I thought it was a Charles. I thought he had a Charles Woodson jersey because he would collect any jersey of defensive backs who were number 24. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm almost positive because, no, he definitely did. There's a picture of me dressing up on Halloween where I have that on backwards.
The years that we had to put it backwards.
I'll see if I can dig it and I'll text it to you. But I'm actually 100% positive Greg had a Jerry Rice Raiders jersey.
It does sound familiar. I knew he had
that same thing.
But yeah, that would make sense too.
That's a nice jersey to have there. I still have my Tim Brown Adidas jersey. Then I have a Bo Jackson jersey I got from China. Don't have any of my Charles Woodson jerseys. Ooh, breaking news: Raiders and Eli Apple deal fall apart.
I saw that earlier.
Yeah, I don't have any of my Charles Woodson jerseys anymore. I don't know what happened to them. They probably got taken, here and there. But a Bo Jackson jersey will be there, and my Tim Brown.
We'll see if Greg still has his Charles. We'll give it to you if we can find it.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
No, we appreciate it. Thanks for giving us a different perspective.
Hey, anytime. Take it easy.
Say that, but I don't know if you actually mean that.
All right, later, guys.
Take it easy.
Well, after all that, we're still not friends. So thanks, Navi.
Great transition.
He just uses you for your 4th of July parties. I get it.
That's all right.
I'm sure he's not the only one.
Nope.
So yeah, he not a big fan of what was his name? The
Callahan. Yeah.
Bill Callahan. Yeah, not a big fan of him, which is completely understandable, I think.
So he was a big Gruden fan, though. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Gruden?
I don't know.
I'm not as high on him as I feel like everybody else seems to be.
I feel like a lot of people hate on him ever since he did Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bit of a caricature on Monday Night Football.
Definitely.
I think that was just him playing that role,
He was a cliche machine.
Yeah,
right.
And the QB camp that he does, where he just loves everybody.
Everybody
Yeah.
loves everybody.
You got a lot of shit for that.
I haven't heard him say a critical thing at all. Unless I was on Hard Knocks.
I didn't even watch that.
He was good on Hard. I liked him on Hard Knocks.
Really? I heard a lot of criticism about him specifically on Hard Knocks.
Every coach gets criticism for that show, though.
That's true.
I thought he was a good players coach. I don't know how good of an X's and O's guy he is, but
yeah,
he's a good motivator.
He was supposed to be a pretty good offensive mind, isn't he? That's what I thought.
I think at this point in his career, people were pretty high on him.
Well, let's put a number on the Raiders' wins here in the 2020 season.
9 wins.
Who's playing quarterback? Is it still Carr?
Nathan Peterman.
No, they brought in someone to challenge Carr.
Oh yeah, who they bring in?
He loves Peterman.
Check. Signed him.
They brought in Mariota.
That's right. Yeah, because that was his hot take. That was Navi's hot take. Was
yes, Mariota will be the starter. and
Yeah.
the next franchise quarterback.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm definitely picking against Navi. Let me give you like 6 wins.
I could see them doing okay.
More than
I'm
9
going
wins?
10.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going 10 wins.
All right.
I'm changing. I'm going
6,
8
8,
wins.
10.
I'm going right
Based
in the middle.
on no research and not even knowing half the roster, I'm going 10 wins.
That's how hot takes are born, Greg.
Mhm.
That's right.
And then you defend them till you die.
Vehemently.
Even if you don't believe them when you're dying, you defend them till you die.
Oh,
No, you just
absolutely.
cover them up with more hot takes. Like, oh yeah, but what about this hot take?
What's you want to hear my worst ever sports take?
Of course.
Always.
Okay. Aaron Hernandez will be a better career player than Rob Gronkowski.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I was
my.
passionate about that one.
yeah.
I was like, he's just a more fluid athlete.
Whoops.
That one went down in flames.
I don't know, hail of gunfire.
Yeah. Among other things.
All right, let's talk about the actual fucking game we came here to talk about.
It's
We're
not what we
talking
do
about
here,
this all the way
Steve.
around. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Let's get-
So just real quick. I know Navi mentioned it in the interview, but I want to touch on it again. That the Raiders actually lost their last 3 games of regular season, and it was a weird situation where in Week 17, if they had won that game, they would have gotten the 2 seed instead of the Patriots. But they lost to the Jets, who they then had to play the next week in the wild card game, like 6 days later, and they beat the Jets. And it was one of those things I kind of remember, and he wasn't completely clear on it, but it was something like the Raiders played super vanilla in Week 17, so they wouldn't give the Jets anything just in case they didn't beat them. And then they pulled out all the stops in the playoffs and ran over them 38-24. So that's how the Raiders actually got here. Just like putting up numbers. And running back Charlie Gardner had he iced the game with an 80-yard touchdown run with a few minutes left. And
Dude, I had no idea who Charlie Gardner was.
I remember the
Really?
name. But
Didn't
yeah,
he play on the 49ers?
Me?
yeah, for a couple of
Stat
years.
check.
Looking
Yeah,
at
I
it,
think
I
he did.
started in Philly from 94 to 98, and then 2 years in San Francisco before 4 years in Oakland.
Wasn't there like a back named Hurst back there too? When the Niners.
Maurice Hurst, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, this is when stat check goes wrong. It must be Garner, not Gardner.
Yes.
Charlie
Indeed.
Gardner was a recurring character in the 2nd season of Girl Meets World, which turns out is a show.
Oh, don't talk to Mike Mello about that, though. It's very sore.
Does he know about Girl Meets World? Not Boy Meets World. Girl
I
Meets
think
World.
he basically wrote that. He wrote a reunion for Boy Meets World. He wrote the whole script and everything and tried to shop it around, and then that came out. Apparently, I guess it was some similarities between what he wrote and what came out and stuff. So, yeah,
That
Sore
is-
subject.
not talk to him about that. Oh well.
That's hilarious. Like, Charlie Gardner, good looking guy.
What about
Yeah.
Charlie Garner?
Spell check?
There's no picture of him. He's Charlie Garner the third, by the way. So good for him.
But yeah, he looked pretty sprightly in this game, though. I mean,
He looked
he,
untackleable.
yeah, he was a tenacious guy, like a bulldog
Yeah.
runner. I always
Yeah, he-
respect those guys.
Yeah, he was just that. He was the stereotypical always keep your legs moving and good things will happen as a running back sort of guy.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really make any moves. He wasn't beating anybody. He just would just keep going, and eventually somebody would fall off, and he'd get an extra 8 yards from it, sort of thing.
All right.
But
I say that we do a best and worst for each quarter, like 1, 2, and 3, and then we can talk about the 4th and overtime.
Jeez.
Boy, all right, that's aggressive. You go first then.
Best in the first quarter was the 3 screens in a row from the Patriots.
Yeah, that's
The
how
only
they
way
started the game.
Yeah. Even
All
Phil.
the running backs.
Even Phil was calling them out.
Yeah.
The worst was 0 for 6 on third downs. Both teams combined. That was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't
There was
great.
a lot of punting in that first quarter.
There wasn't a lot of bests, I think, in this first quarter.
Oh,
I'll go with the fact that they had the yellow line. The yellow first down line was back for this game because it was a primetime game, which thank fucking God, because you couldn't actually see the yard markers unless they had the guys with the leaf blowers out there during commercial breaks.
I like how
Even
they're
then.
putting it on the end zone line too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
helpful.
it was very
'Cause
helpful.
Even
us.
that guy on the Raiders lost track of it on one play.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my worst for the second quarter. Was the
yeah.
when the Patriots punted it? Yeah, he let it bounce. He was sitting in the end zone, thinking he was on the 5, let it bounce into the end zone for an accidental touchback.
I remember that play too for some reason.
Yeah, so
there's
did
like a few plays in this game that stick out in my memory, and they're like kind of obscure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There was some that I completely forgot about though, which we'll get to. So that was my best. My worst was, the Raiders on the first drive challenged the first down.
Oh, yeah.
And even though it looked like they got it, it still got spotted short. So they didn't get the first down on third down and had to punt anyway. And the punt was a
But that
touchback.
slowed the game down so much. Like, that's
Oh, my
why
God.
there was a million punts in the first half, is because, like, literally the first drive, challenge. And
Yes, and challenges back then took like 45 minutes.
Oh.
So by the time they got back on to punt the ball, it was another 3 inches of snow.
And they were like, oh, yeah, you win the challenge, but you don't get the first down because they moved the ball ahead 2 inches. So here's your timeout back. And then we got to go back and explain that to each of the coaches. And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I said
it was a first down, though, right?
Yeah, it was.
It was supposed to. Yeah, it should have been.
They got the call wrong. That's the first screw job of the Raiders of the night.
Oh, that actually reminds me. So talking about that, because I watched the highlights of the Raiders Jets game the week before just to see how that went, and the Jets got a whole bunch of calls that went against them too. Like they got the screw job in that game. So maybe
the
this
Jets
is karma.
did. Well, speaking of karma, what is it? 1976. The Phantom the Phantom roughing the passer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pats Raiders.
Yeah. So now we're even. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, no. I mean, to clearly point out a hole in your logic. You're calling it karma because you want to justify that the Pats got the good end of the calls here.
I mean, you can put words in my mouth all you want, but no.
Yeah.
The Raiders got jobbed in this game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I knew you were going to react like that.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Jobbed.
They had a couple of calls that went against them.
Objectively, if I was a Raiders fan, I'd be pissed.
What other?
If you were a Raiders fan, you wouldn't be objective.
First down.
We'll get to the
yeah, we will.
The infamous one later. Yeah. Let's
all right, give us your best and
this
worst.
Conversation.
Correct. Give us your best and worst.
The worst is clearly Steve just springing this on us. I have no idea what any of this happened in what quarter.
Yeah, Greg didn't watch the game, clearly.
I watched the game, but I'm not like writing best and worst for each quarter.
Neither was
But I mean, for the beginning of the game, the best has got to be the environment, right?
Yeah.
Like when they pan to the crowd and there's dudes with their shirts off and like the screen looks like you're getting a bad reception because it's just white coming down and angle.
Oh my God, yeah.
No one's sitting down because the bleachers are colder than the air.
Everybody was standing the entire game.
The entire game.
And just it's just one of those. It's one of those things when you turn on a snow game for football and like you see the whole field covered in white except for the lines that they've leaf blown. It's so cool.
I remember we were in the library and like we were waiting for the game to start and I was looking outside the window and it was snowing. I was like, damn, it's really coming down out there. That was like,
so you know, people who didn't live in the Brown house growing up know the library isn't actually the library. It's just a room in our house that Dad christened the library.
It didn't even have
no
books in it.
Didn't have books, actually.
But because our father's a deadhead, it was called the Jerry Garcia Memorial Library.
Yeah.
And that's where we had the TV.
Yeah.
And that's where we went to church.
No reading happened in that room.
But it is a unique thing to because I was trying to think of like how many like true snow games are there, right? Because it takes like a pretty precise timing to hit a snow game perfect, where it's, you know, this game it snowed the entire way through.
Yeah, it had like
which
snow.
almost never happens, you know.
It was like heavy snow.
Yeah.
It was like a dusting, and it was. I mean, think about how much snow fell in those 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still like legitimately accumulating.
Yeah, because I mean, typically in a good snowstorm, you only get like 2 to 3 hours of like real serious snow, anyways, right?
Right.
So if you have to hit it perfectly during game time to get like a game like this, and it nailed it, you know, like it didn't stop snowing the whole game.
It like let up a little bit at halftime, like it lightened up, and then by like fourth quarter overtime, it started snowing like heavy again too.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah.
Fourth quarter overtime was, you could tell it was like really accumulating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hot mess. Yeah, I mean, can you think off the top of your head, like 5 snow games that you've watched?
Titans game.
Yeah, okay. The Titans.
The Cardinals game we went to. Remember that?
That was my first Patriots game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of the 2008 season when the Patriots whooped the shit out of the Cardinals, who eventually went to Super Bowl. There was one in, there was one in Chicago. The Patriots played in Chicago, and Brady threw a touchdown to Deion Branch with like 3 seconds left in the half because he was wide open.
But it wasn't accumulated really on that one, right?
I mean, the field was white. I remember that. I think it was still snowing. I don't know how much it was accumulating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 4 games in the past 20 years that we can think of off the top of our head.
Of course, they flashed back the snowplow game, which I forgot was 3-0. Oh.
Yeah. Against the Dolphins. But they had the guy there, didn't they?
Game to be over. Jesus.
Yeah. Didn't they have the guy there?
Yeah. Oh, no. It was like maybe the end of the regular season. They had him come out and do like a wave to the crowd in like the last game that they fought in Foxborough.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we did talk about it already, whenever that game was. Oh, wasn't it against the Dolphins?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Pretty sure.
That makes sense. That's a dick move. I love it.
Yeah.
Greg, you want to shit on that too?
Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I like that.
Very good. So I would also say that just the running game in general in the first quarter, not great.
No.
Antoine Smith did not get going in this game.
Outside those first 3 screens, they didn't have shit else going on that quarter.
No, they really didn't. Well, I guess that takes us to the second quarter. I think everybody's worst is probably James Jett catching a touchdown.
With 3 fucking catches all year.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy.
But that's so like Patriots defense too, as they take away the things you do best. And they actually even talked about it in this game, where I think it was John. They were talking about John Gruden saying like, "We have no idea what they're going to throw at us, but we know they're going to take away what we do well." So, and then James Jett catches a touchdown. Which, is there a better name for a wide receiver than James Jett?
That's up there, yeah.
I mean, there was Rocket Ismail. But that was a nickname.
That's true.
But James Jett, like, that's a great fucking name.
Maybe if you had like a silent D on the end, you know, then it could be like TD at the end. But yeah.
Yeah. That's rough. That's good effort, but I don't think so.
Wait, what?
Like JETT and then like a D. JET.
Steve just wants the D.
Oh, Steve, that is the stretch of all stretches.
No way, man.
Silent
James
D.
Jett would agree with me. Or you can just call him James Jetted.
Yeah, you could.
And then you can go by James Jett TD.
He could. Maybe he did. Who knows? We're not Raiders fans. If he didn't, he should have. You'll have to reach out, Steve, and let him know of that missed opportunity. All right, so yeah, second quarter.
I had a different worst, actually.
For what, the first quarter or the second quarter? Are we
second quarter?
All right.
Right after that touchdown, Brady gets the ball back and just sails one for an interception.
Yeah, I watched that play a few times. I don't know who he was throwing it to.
Like it's like we can't do anything on offense. They score a touchdown, they move the ball a little bit and get a touchdown. We get the ball back. Brady like 2 plays in, just sails it, throws a pick on like R40.
Yeah, that wasn't great. That was probably the low point, I think, of this game, at least for me.
But
It
it
looked
also,
like he was forcing it.
oh, definitely.
He definitely was, but I don't even know who was forcing it to. There wasn't anybody like really in kind of
he missed
vicinity,
his
but
guy
not
by
really.
2-3 feet over his head. It
By
wasn't
a
like
lot,
he didn't even
yeah.
count for it. He's kind of looked at it.
Yeah, I think it was Troy Brown was the closest guy, and he's like, that wasn't to me. Which I love Troy Brown. I think that's been well established.
Mm.
Did not have his best game this game.
It's Charles Woodson.
Well, I think also I think it was the weather too didn't help him.
He's quick.
He fumbled 2 punts. He wasn't beating anybody because he couldn't get his footing, so he couldn't juke anybody. And they tried to do a reverse with him. I think it was in the second quarter, and it got blown up, and he lost like 7 or 8 yards, which never happens. That's Troy Brown we're talking about. Like he'll find a way to reverse field again and still get a first down. And
Yeah.
didn't have a great.
Patton was as good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we touched on this in the interview, but it felt like every catch David Patton had, he had fallen over already in the route. He would get up just in time to make the catch. Like half the time he was on his knees still making the catch. And it was, it was kind of, it was not the Troy Brown game in this game, for sure.
My best, though, was right after that pick Brady threw. I think they maybe got 1 first down or not. They're kind of right outside field goal range, probably right where Terry kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
And it was a 3rd and medium when we blitzed, and Otis came all the way across the entire formation, picked up their best receiver, Brown, coming on a crossing route.
Yep.
Like, I didn't think Otis was that fast, to be honest. But he, like, closed it and made an awesome play on the ball to force him to punt. And that might have been the punt that went into the end zone.
It was, yes. And
Otis is an unsung hero for this team.
Definitely.
He really is, yeah.
For just the whole year. I mean, this game he played pretty well too, but having watched these games, I mean, I've been surprised what a playmaker he was.
See, that was one of the things that I remembered about this defense was Otis Smith for some reason. Him and Ty Law were just unbeatable. And I think this game was on both sides. I think the defensive backs on both these defenses were top notch. It was like they were putting on a clinic between Ty Law, Otis Smith, and Charles Woodson. Like that's film that you could use to teach other cornerbacks how to play defense.
You know who like made a huge impression on me on this game as a youngin? Wiggins.
Who's that? Yeah.
Like, and I was right, but like James Jett like burned us for a touchdown. Wiggins came out of nowhere and fucked them too.
Yeah,
it's like the only time he did.
Right? Yeah,
I wrote this down that this was his best game as a pro.
He had 10 catches, 70 yards.
Yeah.
And now he hosts the morning show for KISS 107, whatever.
And I bet he doesn't wear gloves doing that either. He's the only guy out there, no gloves.
It's on WEI, isn't it? I think. Wiggy.
Didn't he do like a pop culture one?
Did he? Oh, maybe.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he's doing sports radio now.
Wiggy in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I love it.
But yeah, Steve, you're right. I think he was the only one out there that didn't have gloves on. And he was the leading receiver, or at least one of them.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. So, yeah. Oh, he did. He led the Patriots in catches. Him and Tim Brown both had 10 catches in this game. And one of these things is not like the others.
On the 3rd down conversion rate for both teams combined in the first half was 1 for 13.
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes back. I felt like the Rays were actually moving the ball. It felt in the first half.
In the second quarter, they slowed down as well after that touchdown.
They did, yeah. Well, in the first quarter, they were moving the ball, and then I felt like the Patriots actually started, like after the touchdown pass, the Patriots started to just bring pressure from everywhere. blitzing. It felt like every play, and that slowed him down a bit. But it felt like they were playing their game. The Patriots it felt like they were just going out there and being super conservative. And I remember that about this game.
Yeah.
Thinking in the first half, being like, start throwing the ball. Like you're gonna get left behind if you
no
don't.
Pass rush on either team.
Yeah, but the Patriots are content to just run it straight up the middle 3 times with Antoine Smith and go 3 and out.
Or yeah.
And you actually started to hear some boos in the second quarter with this when they ran a draw on 3rd and long. And
that's classic Belichick, though. And
is that him?
It's got to be. This has been consistent since this day, right? Of him like playing the game as it's like presenting itself rather than like playing your game, you know?
Yeah. Instead of coming in with a script, we're going to do this, and that. It's like, all right, we're going to try these couple things and see what works, and then figure.
This is the guy that kicked off in overtime because he wanted the wind at his back.
That's true.
You know, it's like that's to me saying I care more about like the external factors than my own team, you know?
Oh, so when you were shit on me the other day when I said Belichick was kicking it short on purpose?
I disagree with it. I disagree with it. Honestly, and I mean, obviously he's a better coach than I am, right? But from like a player's standpoint, if I was playing in this game, I'd be like, dude, let's throw the ball. Like, let us make plays, you know? So I could see how it'd be frustrating for the players and for the fans, you know?
Yeah.
But
and I think it was.
That's probably why he's better than us is because
I was all that ends all, Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the right decision at the end. But yeah, and I think.
But who knows? Maybe they throw the ball, they come out aggressive in the beginning, win by 3 touchdowns. You don't know.
That's true, but then it wouldn't be a classic, would it?
That's true.
Yep.
And also, I mean, they came out in the second half, I thought, chucking the ball around, even though they're only down, 7-0. Especially that first drive of the third quarter, Brady hit Patton on 2 like long passes, and they get it inside the 5, and they're still chucking it into the end zone. And Brady missed a couple of like easier throws. Like they did that play what they always do, the hard play action, and he tosses it over the line, and he overthrew. I'm assuming it was Wiggins. And then the play after, he had somebody else wide open and just completely sailed it on him too, and they had to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, he sucks. He only threw for 315 yards in a driving snowstorm.
It's true, which surprised the shit out of me after watching the first half, because did he have any passing yards in the first half?
Yeah,
he was 4 for 9 with a pick, and he like threw like a real bullet to Troy Brown right at the end of the second half.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I got confused because the announcers they're saying that he has a nice stroke. Like, is that football or not football?
Football, not football.
He did have a nice stroke.
Who did?
In fact,
Tom Brady?
He made his name off his stroke.
Made a couple kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. Just like that swimmer. Made a name off his stroke.
But yeah, I think that bullet by Brady at the end, like, looks pretty close to the end of the second half.
Yeah, I think it was the last drive.
He was rifling it through there. And they're like, oh, all right, let's try open it up a little bit in the pass game.
Yeah.
And the Raiders did too.
Yeah,
it's kind of
in that third quarter.
It's kind of insane that he threw the ball 52 times for 300 yards and they scored 16 points.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
And it didn't feel like, I mean, there was no like turnovers in the red zone. Usually when you get those kind of numbers, it's like a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they got conservative at weird times.
That's what it felt like, yeah. And then they would just, I don't know. All of a sudden the drive would just end. And it never felt like they were, at least in the first half, it never felt like they were even challenging. I think, they had one drive. Yeah, their first drive of the game, they drove down, but then they tried to go for it on 4th and 3 because they were like just outside of field goal range, I think, and didn't convert. And that felt like that was as far as they got, at least in the first half.
Yeah. At times it felt like they were just trying to run out the clock. I'm like, guys, it's the second quarter.
Right,
what are we doing here?
And you're down 7-0. Like you got to score at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I told you at the first half, after the first half, that Tom Brady would be the leading passer in this game, you probably would have disagreed with me.
Yeah.
But because Rich Gannon, I thought, was actually doing well in that first half. He's moving the ball a bit. Yeah.
We did better in the third. Like, they started looking at Rice a ton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, I think Rice had a bunch of catches just in that third quarter, didn't he?
Yep. Until they stuck Ty Law on him.
Yeah. And then that was the end of that. But yeah, Rich Gannon, like you said, Greg, Brady threw it 52 times with 312 yards. Rich Gannon, 31 attempts, only had 159 yards.
Yeah. See, it didn't feel like it played out like that.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It didn't feel like that at all. But, all right. Yeah. Third quarter, Patriots settle for field goal. Raiders do the same thing. Raiders had 2 field goals in this game. And the one that I had forgotten, which I think we got to give, what's his name? Janikowski?
The Polish powder keg.
Yeah. He kicked in that third quarter.
He kicked the living shit out of it.
Yeah,
he kicked a 45-yard field goal that would have been good from probably about 60.
Yeah, the same one that Vinatieri snuck through. He was hitting the back netting. 10 yards up.
Yeah.
I love Janikowski.
Guy's an absolute animal.
Like, come on. Like, that guy is just a mouth breather, Just a mongrel.
Yeah, but boy, can that man kick a football.
Yeah, he could just do one thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're riding this thing to the top.
But he never even tried to do anything else. Have you ever, I think it was him, where there's videos of like on kick returns and he's the last guy and you're just like, lets the guy go. He doesn't even like try to make a tackle or trip. Like, he's just like, no, fuck it. That's not my job.
Yeah. And he clearly never like tried to work out or like take care of his body at all. Yeah, no. He's just like a square. Yeah. He's like a rectangle.
He
reminds
could
me of the shit out of it,
of our father, like running around on a soccer field, like just the dad bod. Yeah, not exactly smooth motion or anything, but could kick the shit out of things. Janikowski's
good for him. I mean, that's a good place to be in. He played a million years too.
Yeah, you think he's like smoking heaters on the sideline like that kicker? And
he probably was.
He'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
I'll say his field goals are set up by Ty Law. Back-to-back red zone possessions. Ty Law's, or maybe not red zone, but within field goal range. They threw at Ty Law on both of them.
Yeah, Ty Law put on a clinic in this game.
Yeah.
The number 24 is both of them.
Yeah. Ty Law played awesome.
Yeah. He led the team in tackles. You see that?
No.
Who, Ty Law did?
Yeah, 12 tackles and 2 pass breakups.
Holy shit.
And both those pass breakups on third down in the red zone.
Yeah.
I feel like more pass breakups than that, I have to say.
Yeah.
I think this is his type of game, though. Like a physical, get your hands on the guy.
Yeah.
100%.
That's just Ty Law's style. Like, punish him whenever you get a chance. He's an amazing tackler.
If it had been like Peyton Manning back there, he would have thrown like 6 picks.
Oh, there's another snow game that we forgot about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
That's my favorite all-time single performance. It's Ty Law against Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know who flashed a little bit in this quarter?
Who's that?
I put a note about is Bobby Hamilton.
Yeah, he was starting to get some pressure all by himself. And actually, even Navi mentioned him.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the name they brought up?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like sneaky, like Otis, like you talked about earlier. Kind of like a sneaky contributor to this dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also one of those guys who doesn't move particularly athletically.
No.
It's like if Janikowski was playing defensive tackle or defensive end or whatever it was. Just a big goofy dude, but man, can he move when he needs to. But all right,
I got a question.
Yeah.
Who would you rather sleep with, Janikowski or Roethlisberger?
Like we're just sharing a bed sleeping with?
No, you know what I mean,
finding
Steve.
out how nice his stroke is.
You know what I mean.
I feel like Janikowski would be gentler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Roethlisberger's just going to take what
Roethlisberger
he
might
wants.
like knock you out.
Have you seen Roethlisberger recently?
He's like a mountain man.
He looks disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And this coming with a man who shaved only half his beard.
Dude.
Which half did
It
you
looks
shave?
good.
The left or the right? I can't.
The left. Yeah.
You shave your left. Okay.
Side beard.
It's something.
So a good anecdote from that. When I played soccer in college until my senior year, and then my senior year I stopped playing, but I was still drinking aggressively. And
Nice humble brag.
I gained a couple pounds, as you do.
As you do, yeah.
And the you know how like the moment of rock bottom where you turn your life around and start eating healthier and shit,
Yeah.
was one of Ellie's old boyfriends told me that I looked like Roethlisberger. I was like, I got to do something about this.
Oh. Is that the one that couldn't eat pizza?
Yeah, Ian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because remember we did the Domino's 555 deal. Wasn't me and you,
Yeah.
Greg, and him?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because we used to just do it in race so you could eat the pizza the quickest. And we both finished ours, and he wouldn't let us look at his box. And when we opened it, he had like 3/4 of a pizza left. So I
He's
believe
just
we helped him
saving
finish that too. We don't.
Those
save
days
food
are
in
beyond.
Americans.
Those days are behind me, Andy.
Are they?
I don't want to end up
not
looking
behind
like
Big
that
Ben.
again. Yeah.
Big Ben eats those
What about the,
all himself.
What about the brown double, Greg? You don't do that anymore?
Yeah, those were dark days too. Those are right around the same time.
I can't believe we would do that.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing going around. I saw it on Twitter the other day, where it's like, oh, if somebody were to pay you $3,500, but you had to eat, I think it was two. What's the Burger King? Not Burger, McDonald's Big Macs. 2 Big Macs, 2 large fries, and 2 things of nuggets, and 4 sodas in 90 minutes.
90
you do it?
minutes.
Yeah, would you do it
Let's see.
for $3,500?
Yeah.
I thought to myself, we used to do that for lunch and then go continue to clean pools.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
I don't think my body could handle that anymore. Like if I eat dinner too fast now, I like have mud butt. It could be healthy food, but I just went too quick. It's just I'm like a fragile stomach guy now.
I am not. I've
never really
I've been-
tied speed of intake to speed of outtake.
no. neither have I.
It's a real thing, dude.
Did
Yeah?
not know that.
Oh yeah.
Not
I think
for
it's
me.
because I don't chew enough.
Oh yeah, I never chew enough.
And then it just starts rumbling. I can feel the rumbling, and like an hour later, I'm like, God damn it, Greg, chew your food.
Salad's good to me. Like, I get salad poos like crazy.
That's all the roughage.
Yeah.
You gotta cut down on the leafy greens there, Steve.
When I eat a salad, I only eat a fucking salad. So I have like massive salads.
Steve's having like 10 pounds of lettuce.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Speaking
How
of
did we get
roughage,
here. Yeah.
let's talk about this fourth quarter.
Well, did we just skip the third quarter?
We talked about it.
Okay.
Janikowski kicked a couple field goals. 38 yards, 45
I don't want
yarder.
to gloss over this, but I forgot about the incidental face mask penalty because that came out.
Oh yeah, that's come up a couple
Yeah.
times, like early in the season. But yeah, the incidental, which was 5 yards, and then the intentional was 15.
I kind of like that.
I like that,
Yeah,
but it's
but-
hard to like police, right? Like what's
Yeah.
incidental and what's not.
Well, that's why
But
they
like
changed it. isn't it?
15 yards for something where you didn't mean to do it seems a bit extreme.
Yeah, especially if you just brush it. Yeah,
Right? So that why not
Somebody
just meet in the middle and say all or 10?
that's what they should have done.
Oh yeah. Look at us solving problems.
Yeah, where's the NFL? Let's get them on the phone.
Get Roger on the pod.
Yeah, let's do it.
I just
And
know
what's
that
what's he
would go.
doing now?
Yeah.
I saw that there was there's a conspiracy theory going around that he's the one that created this whole panic so that he doesn't get booed at the draft.
You know, that has legs.
Right? So I think we should find out where he's staying. He says, doesn't he have a house in Maine that he's probably staying at? So we'll go there and boo him.
He's got a house in Maine.
Yeah.
Where in
fucking
Maine?
house. I don't know.
On the coast somewhere.
That son of a bitch, dude. How dare he?
Well,
That's-
like during the whole Deflategate, some dude hired a plane to fly over his house.
Yeah. Yeah, and people would like leave signs and shit around his
Yeah.
front gate because,
Awesome.
of course, it's a gated house. Yeah.
I don't like his kind in Maine.
No. No.
Gingers?
John
I mean,
Gruden
like
would watch out.
well-adjusted, rich people.
Or just rich people in general. Maine doesn't like
Yeah,
them.
that's true.
That's true.
That's why I like Maine.
Because you're poor?
Well, in personality, yes.
Morals.
Rich in looks, though, right?
Yes.
Oh, Christ.
All right, fourth quarter.
One more thing in the third quarter. To kind of prime the pump of what was to come, Brady got strip sacked on the second drive of the half.
Ooh.
On second down. Yeah, got strip sacked, managed to recover his own fumble, but
Yeah.
in
Super
a
lucky.
sign of things to come, yeah.
Consider my pump primed.
Oh, baby. Oh, man, the visual on that one is tough. I don't know if I can transition. You're going to have to do it for me.
Well, build up the fourth quarter. Let's get us a lead, like you're like doing the TV, like coming back from commercial for start of the fourth.
Lead me into it. You seem to have something in mind.
No, you know what I mean, Steve.
What?
Can you lead us into the fourth quarter here? Like build some tension a little bit.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Patriots, Raiders down by 10. The Patriots just got sacked to kill a nice drive, and the Raiders convert a quick first to open the fourth quarter.
That's
Are you looking
good.
for, Steve?
That was good. That was good. Is it accurate though?
Yes.
No.
That's one of my notes. That's one of my notes. Patriots finally put a nice drive together.
Yep.
Then they got sacked right around midfield.
Yeah.
You get back to the Raiders and they get the quick first, and I was like, oh man, Raiders put a nice drive together there. They're inside,
though.
8
No, they
minutes
punted.
left.
Yeah.
They had to burn a timeout, like 12 minutes left on the third down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were cavalier with their timeouts, which I don't think actually came back to bite them, but felt pretty typical. Because they were actually talking about, what's his name? Rich Gannon, the quarterback, and how he was a bit of a loose cannon. I didn't even mean to do that, but fucking Christ. But yeah, and the quote I wrote down was, I don't remember, one of the commentators said it, is talking about when they interviewed John Gruden and what he had to say about Rich Gannon. It was, you need a good night's sleep to deal with Rich Gannon on game day. He's high maintenance.
Yeah.
I
And
heard
so
that.
it's a good job this was a night game because he got a lot of sleep. And apparently, like, the two of them would just, like, bitch and moan at each other, like, during games, just, like, go after each other. Because Rich Gannon, who'd been around since 87, which, do you know who he was drafted by?
Minnesota.
No. Your New England Patriots.
No.
Yeah. The fourth round pick, 98th overall in the 1987 draft by the New England Patriots.
We drafted Rich Gannon?
We drafted Rich Gannon.
Holy shit.
Just goes to show what kind of dark
And then-
times they were.
And then just traded him?
I don't know how he left the team, but
How
he never
long-
played for the
here,
Patriots.
though.
No, because he his first year he was in Minnesota. So he never actually played for New England, but he was drafted by them.
Damn.
So I don't know what happened there, but I don't know, maybe a listener will tell us. Maybe a Minnesota Vikings fan, if there are any left.
He had a pretty good career.
Yeah.
He did, yeah. But this was kind
Hall
of
of
the peak
Famer?
of his career, was like 99, 2000. Well,
Yep.
99 through 2002, really. Made the Pro
Yeah.
Bowl all 4 years. 2000, 2002, he was a All-Pro first team All-Pro even. But yeah, his Oakland days were his real peak.
Can't
I
too many
don't-
players say that.
That's true. Well, some old school Raiders guys out there probably.
You can definitely see Brady like turn it on in this fourth quarter.
Yeah. So yeah,
Like he had like an awesome delivery right as he's getting like form tackled. Like Kevin Falk.
Yeah.
who,
So in that his first like full drive of the fourth quarter, he went 9 straight completions, I think it was, on that drive.
Yeah, you let the ponies out of the stable.
Yeah, they said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to start trucking the ball because we're down 10.
Took the reins off, and Tommy just took over.
Yep.
But in true Patriots fashion, did not throw a touchdown, but instead runs it in for the touchdown. And probably everybody who's listening to this actually remembers.
But before that,
More for the spike, I think.
Was the he threw him to like a wide receiver on the boundary. It was Patton maybe who like it bounced off his hands.
Yep.
And then Wiggins came right behind him and grabbed it and like toe tapped his feet inbounds.
Yeah.
Why Wiggins was even there?
I don't know.
I remember that play too. Yeah.
There's a couple plays where Wiggins was in suspect locations.
Yeah, there was.
The one where he like dove for it and tried to catch it, and then just like went right beyond him into Patton's hands.
Yeah.
Jesus, Wiggins, chill out.
He was having himself a fucking day. He was having a great time.
Yeah.
I have a note on here because, like, on that Brady touchdown, I mean, obviously, we've all seen it a million times.
Oh, yeah.
I have Beekert, that old middle linebacker from the Raiders.
Yep.
He's like the OG Brian Urlacher. It's the same kind of, like, Brady jukes right, goes left that he got Urlacher on in that Bears game.
Yeah.
It does have that similar feel.
It looked slow motion, though.
Oh, yeah.
I remember thinking that was a pretty poor attempt at tackling because Brady just kind of like fell forwards, not so much juked.
Yeah.
I have a stat check question for you, Greg.
Sure.
Oh.
What's the longest TD run of Brady's career? Because that was like 8 yards. It was longer than I remembered.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because they're all like, there's a million 1-yarders.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of those.
22 yards.
That was his longest run. I know he scored a 22-yard touchdown, though.
Oh, yeah, longest run.
And I love, like, the announcers being like, oh, look at Tom Brady celebrating because he's so young, you know, youthful.
Yeah.
It made me think of that Julian Edelman punt return touchdown against the Broncos.
Oh, where he ran down to,
wait, were you in the end zone?
Yeah. I'm going to say this may have been his longest touchdown run.
How many yards was it?
6.
Dude, you might be right.
I don't think there's one that was longer.
Because he didn't make it in.
At least according to Patriots Dynasty.info, if you do some searching.
Yo, that is wild.
Yeah. Does he have a 5-yard? He does have a 5-yard touchdown scramble against the Broncos. I don't remember this game. When was this? 2013. Oh, the 2013 AFC Championship.
Yeah.
He had a
good old juke move in that one.
Yeah, so how about this? Tom Brady, playoff runner. All his longest touchdown runs come in the playoffs.
Oh. Everything that's better about Tom Brady.
That's a stat. Longest touchdown run.
Yeah. 6 whole yards. He has a handful from 4.
Was this his first touchdown run as well? I remember one.
Really pushing our capabilities here in the stats department.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But we just watched every game this year, which is all the games he'd started up to this point, and I don't remember him.
I don't remember any like QB sneaks. You're right. Yeah. I feel like this could be. Yeah, this is his only run. His only touchdown run of 2001.
Look at that.
His first and his longest.
Yeah, it was all downhill from here. More uphill, really, for him if you watch him run.
This is the first point in the game that it looked like we had a chance, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they actually drove the ball down and they were just moving it easily, it seemed like.
But even like when we gave it back to them, there was like a 3rd and 1. They did a quick snap. Like we were definitely not ready. And that took it under 5 minutes of play. And then you're like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Raiders got that first down, like you said, on that play. Which, yeah, I feel like Yeah, it was. They almost held him, and then they didn't. Like it was 3rd and short, and like you said, they did the quick snap.
And they got like 8 or 9 yards in that quick snap, like stretch play.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have it written down: the Pats get the ball back with 3:35 left, get 1 first down, and then punt it. So
yeah,
nowhere.
Well, can we back up a little bit as far as like these like fourth quarter comeback situations? Like,
sure,
it's gotten to a point now where it feels inevitable, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Like that Super Bowl against the Rams, you were like, yeah, they're not scoring, but it's gonna happen. You know, it's just a matter of when. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't get the feeling, and just from like reading a couple of the articles from around here, it felt like that was the opposite back then of
it was
a when does this fall apart, not when are they going to pull it out of their ass.
And we've talked about that in regards to Drew Bledsoe as well, because that was kind of the knock on him. It was he would hang in there the whole game, but then you'd have that last drive that you needed to have, and something would go wrong.
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily Bledsoe's fault, but often enough it was. Like he'd throw a bad play, or he's getting sacked, he's throwing it over his back shoulder, sort of thing. Yeah, that sort of shit. Because you're just trying to put the team on his back. But yeah, this is kind of the beginning of that different feel, like you said.
And that's where I think like Brady distinguishes himself, not only from the rest of the league, but from like the coaching staff, where like the staff puts him in a place where he can win games. But like when it gets to crunch time and you need this guy to start slinging the ball, Tommy gets out there and just starts slinging.
Yeah. Like he just doesn't seem bothered by any sort of pressure.
He just, he just thrives in it, Yeah. It looks like he gets another gear when he's in those like crunch time moments.
I've had to say this so many times. Oh, does Belichick or Brady? And it's like, hey, it's both. Like Belichick puts you in a position to get there, and Brady has that extra gear.
Yeah.
Belichick will take you to the Super Bowl, Brady will win you the Super Bowls.
Yeah. And you could even see it from Brady's third start when he was playing the Chargers. And I know you guys weren't there for that episode. I think it's just me and Mike. But he pulled them from like way down late to the point where I was watching the game. And I'm thinking, I think I'm watching the right game. But they come back and win this? And this is literally his third start. And the one where he threw his first touchdown pass to Terry Glenn. And he pulled him back and then won in overtime. That's his third game ever. And so you kind of even saw it early. But then you don't really see it again the rest of the season. Up until this.
Yeah. We'd see it a lot more in the next few years.
Oh, God, yeah. To the point where it was more surprising when it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's like that Eagles.
From the Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah, we were like, wait, this is
would
over?
have if he didn't get strip sacked. He was about to.
And he still almost did.
But that was the best thing about Brady is there's so few times where you're like, oh, I would have, because he just did.
Yeah. He always did.
Even like coming back against Atlanta, where it'd be like, there was so many points in that game where you'd be like, even if they don't win this, you're gonna look back fondly on how Brady played.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough. He still did it.
Yeah,
which is like, I think just as hard as getting there,
Yeah. And going back to both your points about whether it's Bill or Tom, we can go back to the game where Belichick took the wind in overtime against the Broncos in that game. Because Brady pulled them all the way back in that game too, remember? They were down like 24-0 or something at halftime.
Mm-hmm. I was at that game. It was fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Was that the game where your beer was freezing because you weren't drinking it quick enough?
Yeah. We were like 2 rows from the top of the stadium, and it was like 10 degrees.
And a stiff wind.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were down 24-0 at halftime.
Yeah, I can't believe you stayed for that game. It's crazy.
Yeah, we said that if the Patriots didn't score on their opening drive in the second half, we were going to leave. And then they scored, and then they scored again, and they scored again, and we're like, we ain't fucking leaving.
That might have been that Jules punt return game that I referenced earlier, right?
Yeah, I think you did have one in that game.
It wasn't that one, though. It was the Muff Welker one where he waved it off.
Yeah, but I think I thought Edelman had a punt return for touchdown that game too, though.
No, he had that weird one where he took like the bubble screen and like dove from the 5-yard
Yeah,
line.
he did have that one. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was iconic.
Like we're
We'll
talking
get
about
to those.
the Raiders game.
It's going down memory lane.
That's what we got to do. That's what this is for. So, yeah, well, let's talk about this comeback, shall we? Patriots down
So
13 to
Raiders get
3.
first down under 5 to play.
Yeah.
We blitz on the next third down, get the ball back.
Yep. And go absolutely nowhere. They get one first down and then have to punt it right back. So
Yeah.
the Raiders
Don't
get the ball with
forget
2:41 left.
There's a sweet another grab by Andrew Wiggins in there with he bat the ball between his two hands and catches it, just being super lucky again.
Yeah. Such
So
a
dangerous.
goober.
And Phil Simms gets hit by a snowball from a guy in the crowd.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And he's like, Greg, I think that was aimed at you.
You could tell he was like initially pissed too.
He was. He's like, I can see the guy who did it.
Yeah. Dude, imagine being that guy that threw that. He can watch this game on YouTube for years to come and be like, it was me.
Honestly, I can imagine you being the guy that threw that.
Oh,
actually,
dude,
Greg.
he's a legend. It was that, and he's got people like us watching this game being like, did you see that part where fucking Phil Simms gets hit by a fucking snowball?
Plot
we
twist.
can
It
find out
wasn't
who
the
that is.
snowball, it was frozen beer.
We can find out who that is. We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Guest of honor.
Put an APB or whatever that thing is called.
Yeah. So then the Patriots are 3 for 11 on third down.
Yeah, not great.
Punting away, 2:47 left.
Yeah. Raiders got the ball back with 2:41, and basically go 3 and out. Can't come because they had it 3rd and 1 and couldn't convert again, which is second time in
Seymour.
this drive.
Seymour monster on that play.
Oh my god!
Seymour was on the third, but like Lawyer came flying in on the second down too. Like both those guys.
Yeah. Lawyer
And
Malloy.
Brewski. How about that hit by Brewski?
Yeah.
Up the middle.
Lawyer Malloy, I had that he was just the only guy out there who looked like he could still like lay the wood because everybody else is kind of like skating around, and every once in a while you see Lawyer Malloy come out of nowhere and just thump somebody, and he was the only one who was able to like actually get a thumping on somebody. That's fantastic. Him and actually, and what's his name? Fuck, I'll remember it one day. Your friend's name, Steve.
Navi?
Yeah, there you go. So Navi actually was the one to call this out that Roman Pfeiffer had a great game in this game. Like he was the only one that could tackle Charlie Gardner, I thought. Apparently that was just me. Cool.
Yeah, that did not jump out to me at all.
Oh. No,
Although we did have a signed Roman Pfeiffer football card, so
yeah, for the Rams, but still. I probably still have it somewhere kicking around.
that would be awesome.
Hell yeah. Roman Pfeiffer. That guy was just mad.
It's probably worth as much as your fucking Pokemon cards, Dandy.
Yeah, those are your Pokemon cards. I collect football cards, bro.
Yo, I had a Charizard holographic, dude. That thing is it's worth more than money. It's worth memories.
Didn't you give that to my nephew?
Did I?
Yeah, you gave all
I
your
gave
Pokemon cards, so.
Oh, good. At least he can use them.
There go the memories.
I
Never
know
lose the
Troy.
memories.
I know you guys said Troy had a bad game, but he had a pretty solid punt return in this up until he fumbled it a second time.
So yeah, and that actually leads me. No, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save something for you.
I know what you're
Later.
saving.
I don't know if you do.
I'm just going to spoiler it right now. Larry
Okay.
Izzo, 2 fumble recoveries.
Motherfucker.
What, you think I didn't watch the game, Andy? Huh? Think I didn't watch it?
You're looking at my fucking notes.
How am I looking at your notes, dude?
I want to say Larry Izzo, unsung hero of this game. Without Larry Izzo,
That's
the
2 big
Patriots have
plays.
2 fumbles because Troy Brown fumbled 2 punts and Larry Izzo recovered both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
on
said-
the-
Without
that was
that, 2 of those drives are ended immediately. One of those is the one that leads up to the fourth quarter. This one now, which I don't know. Does somebody want to take the reins on this one? Because this is a pretty important drive here.
That's all we're going to say about Larry Izzo?
What else you got?
I don't
Special
know.
teams captain.
Yeah, this is coming out party.
This
Put him on
is.
the, put him on the
You've
list.
been playing for a while at this point, right?
Addy.
I think so. I'll find him on this list. Let's find out.
No, he was only he was 27. Been in the league 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So you've been around.
He
Miami.
made the Pro Bowl the year before.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty
He
awesome
did.
at that point.
Yeah, with Miami.
Was
They
this his
probably
first year?
overpaid
Not
him.
a special teamer though.
Was this his first year on the Patriots?
It was, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Making his
First-
mark.
nice.
First of 8 years on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Good for him.
That's what I want.
Matthew Slater
just,
before
like-
Matthew Slater was Matthew Slater.
Yeah, wouldn't it be sweet to play in a big game, but not have the pressure of actually having to perform, but just accidentally fall on 2 fumbles and be like, dude, I contributed.
Yeah.
That's always been my dream. Is
So that's exactly who I would be too. I would be that guy.
yeah, I would be the guy that can't blow it, but he can save it. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah, that role player who's probably the glue guy on the sidelines too. That's why he's
Yeah.
voted captain. Great
Yeah.
locker room guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most skill, but
Yeah, I warmed up the closer so good in the bullpen.
Yeah, but I mean, just but that kind of goes to the point of this Belichick system too, is he has these guys in there, even in 2001, which maybe some of that's a bit lucky this early, but we also talked way back at the beginning of this season how Belichick had brought in umpteen different free agents, and they were all 10-year veterans.
Yeah.
And so guys like Izzo is not quite that, but I mean, he's a veteran in this league. Brought him in just to play special teams, and now he's got 2 fumble recoveries in what at this point
you
is the
said
most
it's true,
important
right?
game of the
He's
season.
a Pro Bowl Dolphins special teamer that he signs as a free agent.
Right, exactly.
That's a classic Belichick move.
Wes
Yeah.
Meckler.
Probably paid
Well,
way more
get to
than
him.
anybody else is willing to pay him.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
And
because
then
you'll pay those middle-level guys more than any other middle-level guys will make. Yeah, it's the Belichick system, right?
Definitely is.
So, yeah, so like you said, Troy Brown actually had a really good punt return until he fumbled it, but luckily the Pats recovered. So he started out, I think, right around midfield, right?
Nah, yeah, right around
Give or
there.
take. I was at this
First
point in the
down
game, it was
scramble.
really tough to tell where anybody was.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And you could actually hear the announcer, in not in the broadcast, but the announcer in the stadium announcing where the ball was sometimes, just because nobody had any fucking clue.
I like the old school announcer too.
Over
Yeah.
the loudspeaker, too.
Yeah.
Or it feels like a high school game.
Yes. They should bring that back.
Antoine Smith.
Yeah.
6-yard gain on the carry.
Yeah. Yes, dude. Dude, I love that.
It was pretty sweet.
It does have a good feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just gives me the right feeling. It's like Christmas, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's
Snow.
why when you started watching this game, that's what you sent us. Picture
Yeah.
of you watching the game in the snow, saying it feels like Christmas.
It's right. It does.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 at their own 46, 2 minutes left, down by 3.
Yep.
It's Brady time.
Brady moves the ball a little bit, and now all of a sudden it is 2nd and 10 on the Raider 42 with 1:47 left. They moved the ball a little bit, not a ton.
Brady
What
had a
happens
first down
next?
scramble in that moving the ball, which
He did.
I totally forgot about.
Yeah, well, and this is the difference between this is what Tom Brady brings to the Patriots offense that Drew Bledsoe doesn't. Remember?
A big running
is-
element.
Yeah, exactly. Which nobody's ever said about him since. Even though he's a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Oh man, that still gets to me. Yeah, so 2nd and 10, Raider 42, 1:47 left in the game. And his old college teammate comes running off of his right side. Very un-Brady-like, at least nowadays, to not see.
But he got blown up a bunch in this
Because-
season.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming, so I was watching for Woodson to come on that blitz, and he didn't hide it. He took 3 steps towards the line of scrimmage before Brady hiked the ball. It was, if I would assume most quarterbacks would see that coming, at least these days. But
Well, I mean, just overall this season, Brady got blown up. Like blindside hit a lot more than I remembered.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A lot more, like because like
He's a
the
rookie.
blindside hit Brady's taken, like couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, he was also sacked, I think, the most in his career in this season. Or something
Really?
like 45 times, yeah.
Surprised he didn't get hurt because he didn't have elongated tendons at this point either.
Maybe he did get hurt. Well, he did get hurt. Just not in this game. We'll get to that.
That's true.
That's true.
Which,
Stay
maybe
tuned
if
next week.
Yeah. The real
his
dynasty.
tendons were longer.
So the
So, yeah.
commentators were like definitely a fumble, but then like they played it for the replay on the fans, and you could hear the fans all know about the tuck rule.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's
don't
something
give me
like-
that. Don't
At
give
that
me
point,
that, Steve.
Everybody knew it was the tuck rule.
No, they
I
didn't.
disagree with that.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
That's a tough call.
They saw the slightest movement of the arm forwards, and like
Yeah.
any fan in the world that's pissed drunk in the fourth quarter, they go, "Oh, it's incomplete."
Yeah. Which is exactly what's happened. But we
Like they knew
have
about the rule existing of like if his arm is like not all the way back and tucked in, then it's a incomplete versus a fumble.
No, they had no idea.
I mean, they were ready to boo heavily when Walt Coleman, whoever the fuck it was, came back from his review. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. All right, we've seen this twice. Once in the Jets game where it was Vinny Testaverde. I think it was the first Jets game, right, where he did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then just last week for us, in the last game of the season, where it was right at the end of the half. And what was his name? Winky.
Yep.
It was Chris Winky was the quarterback, and it was the exact same thing where it was this botched Hail Mary, and it was almost exactly this same motion too, where he was tucking it down, he fumbled it, and basically threw it right into the ground.
All
And the
I'm
Patriots
saying
recovered it and could have walked in for a touchdown, but they blew it dead. Same thing.
is if you watch closely, Woodson hits Brady in the head with his arm, which is a personal foul, 15 yards. And
Automatic first down.
Yep.
Steve, I love you.
Incidental face mask.
It was roughing the passer.
That was a
Oh,
fumble.
I'm just pissed the refs missed that roughing the passer call.
It's a fumble now. It wasn't then.
Dude, it's a fumble.
It was the right
But-
call at the time because
Yes.
there was a tuck rule at the time.
Even that tuck rule, like that's meant to be like you lose control of it on a pump fake, right?
No.
Not
Yeah,
it gets
I don't know.
jarred loose.
They were saying like the throwing motion encapsulates like the cocking all the way forward and then the pull back in and then it
As long as his
resets.
arm is moving forward, it's a fumble.
Like
It's gonna
slipping
be-
doesn't matter. It doesn't have to slip out of your arm.
I think it's a fumble.
I mean, if you look at it in real speed, yeah, it's like a fumble. In today's day and age, sure, it's a fumble. But in today's day and age, it's also a personal foul hit to the head.
Steve.
I'd be rip shit if I was a Raiders fan, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Like they get off on a technicality.
as Navi has told me hundreds of times, that call cost them 2 Super Bowls. Because he was convinced they were about to start their own dynasty.
Yeah, he did say that.
And Gruden wouldn't have left. And then they would have won the next year, too.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
They were a good team. But, some teams get lucky.
He completely ignores beating the Steelers and the Rams. But, besides the point.
And the fact that there's still like under 2 minutes left in this game. And
Yeah.
The Patriots are still losing, technically.
Yeah, but if they get that, the game's over. It's kneel down time.
Yeah.
Sure. But the Steelers were a wagon. The Rams were even more of a wagon. Like, those are 2 best teams in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like a class above everybody else.
If it was a Super Bowl, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's sometimes in your sports fandom you have to admit that the other team got jobbed. And to me, this is one of those cases, where I could, if I was on the other side of this call, I would be rip shit,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Still salty
yeah,
about
me
it.
too.
So
but only
I
because
have
I was
all
a
the
Raiders
sympathy. I have all the sympathy in the world for Raiders fans for this.
I'd be pissed at my parents for bringing us up as Raiders fans personally, but
I have a note on here. I'm surprised Gruden's snow on his hat didn't melt. He's so hot. He was so...
That's a good one.
That's a very
Yeah.
Greg
Right,
Gumbel thing to say.
But even so, I have another point. Like, they were on the 42. They couldn't have kicked the field goal there, right?
Right.
If they stop them on the ensuing 3rd and 10, this would just be a footnote.
Yep. And instead, Brady hits Patton immediately for a first down at 28.
Yep.
And this kind of goes back to Tom Brady again, just not like he's been doing this all season. He's been up and down, but every time he makes a mistake like that or something, the next play, the Patriots let him throw the ball, and 2, he goes out and just slings it, and usually good things happen.
I mean, it's easy to say, but when you're reeling from a call like that, not going your way, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's a momentum shifter for sure.
For sure. But it wasn't like they had at least one more chance, and then obviously overtime and all that.
Yeah, they got jobbed.
Agree to disagree. It was the right call.
Andy.
I say.
What's your opinion on this, Andy?
I just told you my opinion. I mean,
what?
Yeah, it's a shitty rule, and I can understand why they feel like they got robbed, but it was called to the letter of the law at the time. Just sucks that it got overturned too, you know?
Yeah,
because in the other ones, like
I bet more refs than not would call that fumble.
It sort of reminds me of that Des Bryant catch versus the Packers. Remember that?
They got
whether
robbed
it was a catch
too.
or not.
Yeah. Which
that's a catch.
Greg, you really think that another referee in Foxborough in that game in that stadium is going to call that against the Patriots?
Yeah.
I don't know that they would.
Dude, listen to the way the commentators are talking about it.
I know, but I think home field advantage is a real thing.
But it wouldn't have even been a controversy if they were just like, if they didn't even review it, you know?
It wouldn't have been a controversy if the Patriots lost either. It's only because the Patriots managed to pull it out of the end.
Yes,
exactly. And that call changed the result of the game.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can say like, oh, letter of the law, this and that. And, well, then fine. Fuck the law. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody made this law up that's an idiot, you know?
And that's why they changed it.
I'd still be pissed. And that's even worse because now you're admitting that the fucking call was dumb to begin with.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
So I would just be rip shit. I wouldn't be over it now, you know, 20 years later.
My point, though, is that they had chances to change the outcome of the game and make it a footnote. They didn't.
Yeah, but that's, you know.
Even in overtime.
You can say that about any game. They made a play.
Let's get there. So we all know what happens, right?
Yeah.
What happens?
Adam Vinatieri, 45 yards out. Wind blowing in his face. Actually, it was blowing in his back, according to the commentators. Squeaks a 45-yard field goal in probably like 6 inches of snow at this point. Like, it's just piling up around him.
Another iconic reaction too, like celebration. That little double hop skip thing, and then the hard fist pump and the point to the silent. I gave me goosebumps.
I'd also assumed that like they cleared the snow.
Not in that one.
Like, they called timeout and like cleared but that's actually the later field goal. Like this one, kicked it in like 3 inches of snow.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he buried that,
and you couldn't even see the damn thing either.
No, yeah, you just had to listen to the crowd.
Yeah,
which
is a pretty good call by the commentator, actually.
Which one?
Whoever does the play-by-play.
What was the call?
Oh, well, he didn't lose it, right? Because I feel like everybody lost sight of it, but he was like, it's up, and it's good, because that's how I knew it was good. Because he called it good even before the refs.
Yeah, because
indicated.
You couldn't see it on the TV.
Yeah,
but so I thought you were going to talk about how I think it was the radio broadcast probably of which I guess we probably didn't have here, but I came across it.
Gino Capiletti.
Yeah, Gil and Gino.
Yeah,
and on the overtime field goal, he basically said, "I'm just going to let the crowd's reaction tell you whether or not it's good." And it just didn't say anything. Like, kick is down, and then he just like didn't say anything, and you just heard the crowd go bananas.
That's brilliant.
Like, that's a great call.
And there's I can't remember what plays there were, but there were a few plays in this game where I could hear their call in my head just because I've seen the replays with their call on it so many times.
Yeah, there's some that just stick in your brain.
Yeah.
I did miss the I don't remember, at least on the calls in my head, that they say that he missed 4 of his last 5 from 45 plus.
I thought they said he made 4 of his last 5.
I have missed here.
We should get Connor on the pod. We'll have it and clear it up for us.
Yeah, I do remember that of the ones that, like when I was looking at it, of the ones that Vinatieri would miss, they were usually from longer, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, you can be an average kicker if you hit the big ones. That's all you really need to do.
Yeah, as long as you hit the late ones. Nobody remembers the early ones.
Exactly. Which is basically what that whole argument was about, was Gostowski's a more accurate kicker, but Vinatieri is going to go down as the better kicker because
he's got the iconic kicks.
The clutch. Yeah, the clutch kicks.
Yep.
Which I think is a fair assessment, too, of how you grade those types of players.
I agree.
Yeah, probably. I think there's probably some gray area in there because, I mean, you could also argue that Gostkowski didn't have the chance to make those iconic kicks. Like, he just didn't have the opportunities, you know? He wasn't kicking game-winning field. Like, he didn't have the opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal in the playoffs, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like you said, I think you're right that when people look at it, that's what they're gonna remember.
Yeah.
So now we're in overtime. Because the Raiders actually got the ball back after that field goal with 22 seconds left and just took a knee, which probably a bad decision. Yeah, it was 22 seconds, but still, like, put up a try.
I don't know. Snowing like crazy.
Yeah, and?
Yeah.
Might be the heaviest snowball game right here.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Rich Gannon was definitely struggling fourth quarter.
Yeah.
With, like, his grip. There was a couple, like, bubble screens that he floated him. And I was like, ooh, I think this heavier snow is starting to get to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think they were talking about how the temperature dropped, so the balls were getting harder. Football, not football. Which I think is probably why Vinatieri's kick is a bit more impressive in the fourth quarter with all that snow and cold than maybe Janikowski's was in the third quarter, even though they're both the exact same distance, pretty much from the same spot on the field, too. Both 45 yarders going left to right.
Wait, now do you switch to the half or the quarter?
You switch a quarter.
Yeah. So one's the same spot.
Have you watched football before, Steve?
No.
Your first ever game. This is a good one to watch.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Wait, they play quarters?
I thought it was periods.
I thought it was thirds. Just play 4 of them.
All right, overtime.
Overtime. Raiders call heads. It's tails. Patriots select
Never
receive.
fails. Patriots always win coin tosses, too.
The important ones they do, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I just thinking of, like, things that would make me mad if I wasn't a Patriots fan. It's like, how the fuck do they always win the goddamn coin toss?
Yeah, always true. The important ones.
Yeah.
But
it's like field goal kicking. You don't have to win the early ones.
Yeah, exactly. You got to win the important ones.
I can think of like
fails.
Yeah, there's like 3 that come to mind. You know, Falcons Super Bowl.
Yep.
Chiefs AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Just overtime games in general. They're the ones that they need. They get.
Goddamn cheaters.
But did you see that one of the guys out for the overtime coin toss was Drew Bledsoe?
Really?
That was pretty badass, yeah.
That is sweet.
Yeah. So he was out. I mean, obviously the Raiders called the coin toss, but I like to think that Bledsoe had something to do with it. I think him where he was standing was blocking the wind, and so it didn't have that extra half a flip. So because of that, it landed tails.
Get the big guy out there.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey, I'm looking at the box score, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but the kickoff right at the end of regulation there, Tackle made by Matt Chatham. Shout out.
Yes. All right. Love it.
Get him on the pod.
All right.
It's a great tackle. It was an unbelievable tackle.
It actually was a good tackle.
Yeah.
For that late in, I mean, and he's one of those.
That's why they didn't try and get any points.
Yeah, because they pinned him deep late, and
He
he's one of
started
those
the Dynasty. Yeah.
Well, he's one of those role players that, like we talked about, that this Patriots system is built on. He's one of those guys that you don't hear much about, but he's that like foundation that all these other great things happen are built on.
I got a name for you on that same thing, J.R. Redmond.
Yeah, I would put him
This
in
first drive overtime, first play, I think it might be the exact same one as that Rams Super Bowl final drive.
So I actually wrote down all the plays in the last drive. So actually, and even before that, I think another guy you can throw in here is Patrick Pass, because he's returning kickoffs in this game, which I didn't realize he did that. I feel like they seem to have a different guy back there every time, because I remember for 2 weeks I had written down, and we never brought it up, but there was some guy named Ben Kelly who I'd never heard of, and he was returning kicks, and that's all he did, and you never saw him again.
Speaking of that, Riddick Parker was a starter on the Patriots for this game.
Who?
Yeah.
You just make that up?
No, it's one of my notes. Like when they did the introductions, even.
Holy shit.
What position did he play?
Defensive tackle, apparently.
Exactly,
Steve Brown is correct.
Yeah.
Riddick Parker.
Riddick Parker?
What?
Never heard of him.
He's
Never
literally
heard
the only
of him.
name,
Never heard of him again. Started this
only
game.
name on this list of Patriots starters I do not recognize.
All right, back to
Riddick
unsung
Parker.
heroes, because he's just
Nicely
unsung.
done. Yeah.
Very unsung.
I mean,
The least sung of them all.
I mean, if the guys who are doing this stupid podcast don't actually know who he is, that's pretty unsung. Yeah, so Patrick Pass actually returned this overtime kickoff to the Patriots 34, so that's a great start.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Steve, this was basically the Redmond and Wiggins show. It was a quick pass in the middle of Redmond, and then a screen to Redmond for the first down where he broke a tackle down the sideline, which is another one of those like random plays I remembered. Yeah. And he broke it and ran for like 15 yards on like 2nd and 6 sort of thing. And then it was quick out to Wiggins, screen to Redmond, quick slant to Wiggins, middle to Wiggins, Redmond run up the middle, and then a quick pass to Troy Brown to break the streak. And this is where we get to the point where I forgot about this, but this is some ballsy shit too. Like this is some game-winning play calling and all of it. The Pats have 4th and 4 on the 28-yard line. And instead of kicking the field goal there, even though, I mean, they're going in the opposite direction, so they're kind of kicking into the wind. So what's that? What's plus 17?
28 plus 14.
I think it's 17. I think you line up 7 yards behind the line.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the same field goal they had at the end of regulation.
Yeah, give or take. But this one's kind of into the wind, so you know what? Fuck it, we're going for it. 4th and 4, they go for it. Yeah. And I think it was Greg was talking about this play where Wiggins thought it was to him, but it was actually to Patton. And so Wiggins is diving outstretched for a ball that's not actually thrown to him.
And Patton's just like sitting in a mound of snow, like up to his waist.
He'd fallen down again. Yeah, he'd fallen down again. Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
He's probably already on the ground. You just can't see because there's like 3 inches of snow between his and his thighs.
Yeah.
Like imagine if Wiggins like gets his hand on that.
Yeah.
And knocks it out.
See, that's my fear. You know how I said my goal was to be the guy that jumps on the fumble? My fear is I'm the guy that like goes for the ball, misses it, and like actually tips it away from the intended receiver. And then everyone hates me for life. Yeah. Idiot, Greg. You weren't even supposed to be there.
You're the Colombian soccer player that scores an own goal against the United States in the World Cup.
Or the Steve Bartman.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Bill Buckner. You're that asshole.
But Pats get out of jail free again.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any controversy in that one, Greg, you wanted to stir up?
No, that was a great play call. Great throw.
Bullshit. All right. Yeah.
I'll say Antoine Smith's best play came up after that, staying in bounds.
Yeah. So, and it was, because then at this point, it's just like run the ball up the middle with Antoine. So 2 straight up the middle for no gain, basically. And then on 3rd down, I don't remember which commentator said it's like, they have to pass it here, and I would be shocked if they didn't like do a play action throw and have Brady put the ball in Brady's hands. And all they did was hand it off to Antoine, right tackle, and he ran for first down and fell down in bounds.
Well, why is it a good play to land in bounds? It's overtime.
That's a good point. It isn't. I don't think he meant to land in bounds. I was just going off what Steve said.
Steve, care to comment?
Yeah, you take as much time off the clock as you can.
Just in case you miss a field goal. That's a good call.
Yeah. Even though like it just
prepare for any
you playing for the tie. I thought it when he fell down that he did it intentionally, and then I was like, wait a second. I bet it was just like an instinct.
That's just his mental conditioning of like.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is.
He's like tight game. We're like in field goal range. We're running down the game here.
Yep.
Instinct says stay in bounds. Yeah.
Because like how pissed you get when like that person stay in bounds or out of bounds, or you're just like
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But here's the theory for you. The Patriots were going against the wind, so if they don't score here, the Raiders are pinned deep, and they would have less time to drive down with the wind to the other side to kick a field goal, and hopefully the Patriots can hold them. And then if we get a second overtime, now the Patriots have the win at their back.
Boom, done.
Wait, they have the wind right now? They're against the wind.
They're against the wind right now. So if the Raiders would be pinned deep, so you want to milk as much time off the clock now as you can before you try this field goal, just so the Raiders don't have as much time to use the win to their advantage.
Yeah, in your face, Greg.
That's a deep cut.
That was definitely going how Antoine Smith's head as he's turning that.
You can tell I do yoga because that was a fucking stretch. But
it's probably true.
We're gonna go with
it. I bet Belichick had thought of that.
It's
something like that. Oh, well, I mean, because it could go either way too, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
How does it go the other way? You playing for triple overtime?
Well,
Greg?
because you're talking about so much time left that, like, if you're thinking about like how long an average drive takes.
How much time was left when they kicked the field goal?
Like 7 minutes or something like that, wasn't it?
I don't actually know.
Yeah, there's 8 minutes left when he makes that run.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then 3 more runs up the middle, which brings it down to 6.5 minutes. So that's half the quarter right there.
No.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be starting on the 34 like we did.
Right. They'd be starting at their own 5-yard line basically at this point.
Yep.
So then you stop them deep in their own zone, get the ball back, and now you're against the wind again.
But then the wind changes.
Well, no, because then you run the clock out and you switch to the other side and you kick an easy field goal.
I think you guys are projecting too much for 6.5 minutes.
Nope. I think you're just a goddamn hater. Get off this fucking podcast and go join a Raiders podcast.
Maybe I will. All right.
There aren't any Raiders podcasts.
See if Bill Romanowski's out there. I'm on the pod.
Yeah, getting Romanowski on the pod.
You and Charles Woodson.
Yep.
That would be cool. Oh, Greg, you did have a Jerry Rice Raiders jersey, yeah?
I had a Jerry Rice and I had a Charles Woodson.
Yeah, I knew about the Charles Woodson.
Yeah, the black Raiders jerseys were sweet.
Yeah, with the silver numbers. Yeah, pretty badass.
Yep.
So there's not much left in this game.
Bring us home.
Yeah, so it was just Antoine up the middle, and then that kind of Brady quote-unquote sneak, where he's basically just like moving the ball into the middle of the field to make the field goal easier. And then the Patriots line up for a field goal, and the Raiders try to ice the kicker, which was a great decision because that just lets the Patriots line help clear the snow so that Vinatieri has an easier footing and an easier way to kick a field goal, which he does from 23 yards out to win the game. Now you got snow angels, you got celebrations, and you've got football for another week. Thank God.
The official retirement of Foxborough Stadium.
Yeah. And what a way to go.
Imagine being at that game.
My God.
Iconic.
Yeah.
The greatest game of the Patriots dynasty.
I was so hyped watching this game over again.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was very enjoyable.
I was
My
still nervous watching it though.
Yeah,
I knew how it ended, but I was still like, whoa, oh my God, what's happening? These boys better figure it out quick.
I didn't get that feeling.
It's because you didn't watch the game, Greg.
I watched the game. How would I know about that thing that I called out Andy on?
Which one?
Larry Izzo.
Oh, yeah, you son of a bitch.
That's
Because I watched it.
You're a cunt.
My final note on all of the I have pages of notes is just, God, I miss sports.
Yeah. I did get that feeling.
I was all amped up, and then it was done. And I was like, "Oh fuck."
That's true. I
go back to
definitely
your
got
pathetic
that.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that feeling.
All right, so then give me your best and worst, Steve.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
You've
Greg,
really
you-
got best and worst for every fucking quarter. Holy shit! All right, Greg, give me your best and worst.
Dude,
So you can steal some
can
more
someone
lines.
go first, Andy? I got to think of mine.
All right. Let's see. I got a couple of bests. There's small things. One was Richard Seymour horse collaring the shit out of Rich Gannon. Yeah, I think it was like the third quarter. Like when the
Very
defense started to play.
Indomitian Sue, like.
It was just like he just reached out one of those real long arms, grabbed him by the back, and just went straight limp himself and just fell straight to the ground. Just yanked Gannon straight back, and Gannon was pissed.
I wonder how it feels to be that strong. Where you just
I have
grab
no
a
idea.
grown human and just like dead
Ragdoll.
weight
And
yourself, and that guy gets ragdolled.
Yeah, just
gotta
literally
feel pretty
ragdoll
cool.
a human being,
Yeah.
an athletic human being, not
Just
not
a-
like.
Big, powerful man.
Oh my God! So that was one, and then there was another one. Charles Woodson was returning punts, and so he fair caught one, and Lonnie Paxton came over and just like punched the ball out of his hand after the play was over, just to be a dick, because that was that. It was just how that game was going at that point,
Mm.
and I love the pettiness of it. From Lonnie Paxton, your fucking long snapper, who then would make himself famous for doing the Snow Angels after the game winner.
Another iconic image.
I think I remember this one now. My worst was the Raiders. They tried to go no huddle because apparently like that was a thing that they did, and it would always try to catch people off guard. And Rich Gannon was this wily veteran, and they tried to go no huddle and immediately a call for a false start. And
Yeah,
never
I
went
have that
back to it
one.
again. Just never went back to it again.
Yeah, you dumb
So-
fucks.
So good for them.
No huddle
that was
in the
mine.
snow on the road. False starts that you get, you idiots.
Right, and I think it was in like the first quarter too, and that was supposed to be like,
Yeah, it was.
He was making a big deal of it, like, oh, they're going in there, they're no huddle, and like this is going to cause the Patriots problems all night, and then they never went back to because of the false start. All right, that feels like the Raiders. So, any of you else have any, or did we waste them all in the quarters?
I got one more best.
Give it to me.
First huddle of the game.
Hmm.
Tom Brady trots out there, and you can see on the TV feed he like points to someone on the sideline and gives them like a nice grin. And I just look like super relaxed for like his first playoff game in the snow, and
California boy.
yeah, he's like trots out there and points someone out and gives them like a smile and just like gets down to business.
He never did look shook at all throughout
Yeah.
the game. Yeah, that's my worst, is that Tom doesn't play for us anymore.
Yeah, because today's the day that he wrote that article too. His
No, I didn't
goodbye
read that shit.
article. Yeah, I read
Maybe
it.
I'm still in the denial stage.
And then I was miserable, so I sent it to you guys so that you could share in my misery. Because misery
Oh, I
loves
clicked the
company.
link and I saw what it was, and I immediately X'd out.
Oh, I never read your texts anyway, so I just missed it.
Well, that's because you can't read, though, so I never expect you to do it.
Can't read, doesn't watch the games. Just like Greg.
Because he's like Rain Man. He just remembers these games without having to watch them again from when they
Oh,
happen
yeah.
live.
That's right.
He's got his fucking scrapbook of all the Boston Globe articles.
Look at the
Yeah, this game did bring up a whole lot of memories, though. Like I
You
remember
really did.
sitting in the basement watching it. This is the one where Dad scraped his hands on the ceiling, right?
No, that was the Super Bowl.
That was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because I remember that. I remember exactly where we were on that one.
I remember scrapbooking after the game, collecting all the Boston Globes, cutting out all my favorite things, get my mom to laminate them.
Oh, that's right. She did, would she?
Oh, yeah. I still
One of
have
big
the
poster boards.
laminated poster boards with
Oh, my
all
God.
the newspaper clippings.
How much do you think that cost? She was just running a preschool, and you're fucking using her entire lamination budget on you.
I never
It's
considered
scrapbook.
that, Andy.
Yeah, lamination.
Shocking.
10-year-old Greg. Yeah.
So it's a big ass piece of lamination.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
It was worth it because he still got him.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah. So they paid their money's worth. Oh, I had one last question. I want to ask you boys. How much money would it take for you to attempt to tackle Antoine Smith in his prime? Because I'm pretty sure I would break probably a couple bones. If I said to you, "All right, we're going to do the Oklahoma drill," and if you stop him from getting past you, I'll give you X amount of money. What would that money need to be for you to actually get in there?
I have to stop him?
Yeah, it's a theoretical number because I'm not going to stop him. So I'm just going to
or
give him,
at least try. I mean, yeah, you slow him down.
I'll
then.
try with 1% effort and just be like, and let him run by me.
No, you actually have to make it a tackle attack. Because I don't think he would run
Am
by
I wearing? Am I
you.
wearing?
This is Antoine
pads?
Smith. Yeah. Oh yeah. Full pads.
So I just got to throw my body at him, let him truck stick me, and then he's on his way.
Yeah. Just once.
I'll do it for like $5-10 grand.
Here's a question. How much would you pay in today's dollars to attend this game if you knew
The
what it
outcome.
was? Yeah.
I would take out.
Does everybody know the outcome?
No. You can You can pay like $5,000, go back in time and attend this game.
Yeah.
And then you transport it right back
I
with
would
the
let
same.
Antoine Smith truck stick me to go back in time to watch this game, without a doubt. Those two are equal.
That's fair. I like that answer.
So he just hits me, I black out, and then I wake up at the game. Boom.
Oh yeah. All right.
I'm
Well played,
remortgaging
Steve.
the house,
Yeah, probably true.
Every dime I have.
401k is just
My
gone.
wife's 401k. See you later. I'll take the penalty.
You're right,
sorry,
this
I
is
sold both the cars. I don't know what to tell you.
an absolutely iconic game to go to, especially it being the last game in that stadium too.
Right. Oh God, yeah.
Take the benches home with you.
How long do you
Just-
think it took people to get home from that though?
Oh,
Overtime game at Old
no.
Foxborough Stadium at fucking 8:30 at night.
Oh my God! With a foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's
come
been
out, your cars
accumulating
is-
since you
Yeah.
parked. You gotta
They're
go
probably
dig yourself
still
out.
there.
And you can't even like shovel it out too, because where are you gonna put that snow? Trying to get
Right.
out. Oh
Yeah.
God. Probably
Luckily,
there
the game
next
was a
day.
Saturday game. It wasn't.
And they were like, you know what? When we build a new stadium, we should just build it in the same place because it's really working out the traffic.
Right?
Fucking idiots.
But now you can park there for free in one of the back lots, but you're not allowed to leave for an hour after the game.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I had last time.
I like
I
that.
never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you go to a game with Greg, he loses his phone, and then you lose him, and you stand around for 2 hours waiting to find out where the fuck he is. So I might as well not pay for that privilege.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then Steve bitches for the rest of his breathing life about it.
All right. Well, you guys have anything else you want to talk about in this game? I think we've
No.
pretty much
Honest
covered
deal.
literally every play, it feels like.
Yeah.
It was worth it, though. I mean, this was one of those iconic moments in the Dynasty.
Even the Steelers game next week is the same way.
Yeah.
There's
In a
couple
different
of awesome
way,
plays.
though, because it's
Yeah.
it's not at home, but you're going into Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Three Rivers Stadium, or is this Heinz Field at this point? I don't remember.
It's Four Rivers
they're-
Stadium.
Four Rivers? That was Three
I think
Rivers.
it's 3 Rivers.
It's four.
Are you just being a dick now, or is it?
You can
It's
stat.
actually Heinz Field, so Doesn't fucking matter anyway.
Catch up stadium.
Yeah, I feel like this is like early Heinz Field, though.
Yeah.
We'll find out next week. All right. Well, this has been a special playoff episode of the Patriots Dynasty podcast. And we'll see
The
you for
greatest
another one.
game in the. I'm cutting it. I'm done now.
You're done? You're all done? You never.
I got to my favorite game. It's all
going
over.
out on top. All right.
Yeah, it's just downhill from here.
That's all right. Well, you weren't watching the game anyway, so that's fine. So next week, we will see you again for another special playoff episode of the Patriots Dynasty podcast. See you later.
See you later.